Hello, everybody. Welcome to After the Credits number 93. I'm joined with Taz. You're looking different again this week. What's going on? You grow a beard? What's
beard?
There?
Added some weight. Not as in shape as I normally am.
Is that a new shirt you got sporting too? I like. By the way, awesome shirt. I think I've seen you wear that a couple times.
Yeah,
awesome every time. Great shirt.
Kind of a mix of the whole league, you know.
Incredible. No, welcome, Alan. It's good to have you back. Obviously, we had you on for our a lot of our Dexter themed episodes. Unfortunately, not much Dexter to talk about today. Although some things we'll talk about later once we have our other Dexter friend on. But no, welcome back. I think it's the first time we've done solo though, just me and you.
Having a combo. At least for the whole, or at least from the start.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're right. Actually, no, it's always been me, you, and Taz. So
absolutely. But no, we have some very fun things to talk about today. Obviously, we have some Gen V, which we will be hopping into very shortly. That will be fun. Episode 6 of Gen V, which I love this universe. I always hate how fast it goes. I stand by that they should not be doing those like 3-episode jumps. I think if you're doing a 3-episode jump in an 8-episode season, I have to be like, no. Either 2 is fine. I think 2 is valid because then you still have 7 weeks of content. At that point, just drop it all at once. I think it's a weird combo that they like to do. But episode 6 of Gen V, in some ways, kind of feels like a penultimate episode in many ways. So it'd be fun to jump into that. There's a lot to talk about there. The Peacemaker season finale, depending what you want to call it. There's a lot of conversations there where I'm talking about that finale, season as a whole, and also just like a general is the DCU working now that we are end of the DCU year, I should say.
The first year in the universe,
First year in the universe. Our first 3 projects are out and done, so that'll be there. And then some New York Comic Con stuff came out today as well. A lot in the Marvel side of things. They gave us some little tidbits and leaked trailers and all that kind of fun stuff. But some fun stuff ahead. But Alan, how have you been? What's been going on? You watching any good movies lately? What's been up?
I mean, life's been good. Kind of getting a little calm. I've had a hectic last couple months in my personal life, so I'm kind of looking forward to diving into the content side and getting a little more consistent with that. I started doing my live show again. I know I did it before, but I'm starting to do it now a little more consistently. Nice. I got a close friend that I like doing it with, who I know personally. So I like, getting the rhythm going again. And then, going to the movies every week. That's my forte.
Exciting.
I'm a big movie guy. So I didn't get to go this week. I did want to bring something up with you because I did notice you make a comment. Okay. Are you a fellow Tron hater like myself?
I'm not a big Tron guy.
I'm not either. Yeah.
But I can't even say I'm a hater. I'm just an indifferenter. That's not a real word.
Yeah.
But never seen the original. I need to do that soon. I saw Legacy. I do not like Legacy. I think it's fine, but also I was kind of tricked into it because I had a friend that were like, "This is one of the greatest movies that's ever been made," and I was like, "Okay." And then he came out and said, "Actually, I was just fucking with you. It's actually kind of okay." And I was like, "No, how could you?" And you had Jared Leto into this new one. I'm like, I don't
want it.
I don't need to. I made a poll because I had a free spot on my next week's Pipeline episode. I was like, all right, I have a free spot. What should I talk about this week? And I put Tron, those 3 movies, or the It trilogy. Or not trilogy, but the 3 Tron movies. Or the 3 It movies. And It won. And I was like, thank God. I really did not want to watch all 3 Tron movies.
I've never been a fan of them either. I saw the first one and Tron Legacy right around the time when the Legacy came out, which, I was, I think, 15 or so at the time. I was very young. And I didn't even you ever have it where you watch a movie when you were young and then you watch it again as an adult? It's almost like rewatching it for the first time, right? It's you don't even really remember anything with it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to give Legacy. I'm not watching the first one because I've seen clips of it. I'm good. I'm sorry, but it looks so outdated. I just can't do it. So I tried to give Legacy a try again. And it's not for me, man. It's just not my type of franchise. It seems a little bit more style over substance. So not my thing. Not my thing at all.
Fair enough.
And I don't like Jared Leto either. So that's
I am kind of pissed he's in that new He-Man movie next year. Skeletor. Out of the people to be Skeletor, arguably the most exciting character in that movie, because I want to see what that looks like. That could be cool. Yeah, not a fan.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Anytime I see him, I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah. I hope He-Man's like his final outing. I saw the article that came out and being like Tron made less than like Morbius opening weekend.
Yeah.
I was like, that's rough. That's a bad track record, my guy. Yeah. Let's go through some comments here. Thanks everyone who's stopping by. Our good friend Phil's in the chat said the answer is nah, which I assume is in response to the title. Is the DCU working? His answer is nah.
Can't say I'm surprised by that comment. But.
We'll dive more into that after a while. Good friend Marnie in the chat said hello once again, Mr. Darren. How's it going, buddy? How's it going? Keyblade said hi, Phil. He said hi, Darren and AJ. What's going on? Harrison's in the chat said, what up, good people? Phil said, what's up with the mustache? The mustache is not staying. I got a haircut today. Bad haircut. Arguably a terrible haircut. So I got to fix up what they missed out on. I said, take it all off. They said, okay. Didn't do the mustache. Didn't do down here either. So now I got to do it myself. So we'll deal with that tomorrow. Oh, no. I'm getting a call from Chainsaw React right now.
Should we answer it live?
We're answering it live.
All right, let's do it.
Hello.
What's up?
Hi, Chainsaw.
Alan said hi.
What's up, Alan? I got you guys muted. Wow, Darren, you look so cute with your Lorax hat, man.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I don't know if I love or if I'm regretting giving you my number. Is this going to be a theme?
No. This is definitely not a bit that I'm going to continue forever. Never.
Sure.
No.
If it wasn't someone from council, I probably would not have picked up.
Okay.
It's just some random guy. I'm just like,
hey, what's up?
Who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Who the fuck?
Well, you just continue to enjoy your show. Just know that the next time I'm on, we're talking 5 hours of glitch, okay?
We'll see about that.
Okay, gotcha. All right, well, you have a good stream, buddy. All right.
I'll see you later, buddy. We had a stream a couple of days ago, and Chainsaw called Jake while he was on the show.
So he's gonna get you back, huh?
It's a bit. It's a long running bit. Again, anyone else, I would have been like, I'm looking at that later.
Not doing it. Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go through the rest of these, and then we'll jump into some Gen V. Jeffrey said, everyone go to the poll right now and watch it. Too late. I already have a guest booked. No, too late for Tron.
It is a much better topic to spend your time on. I will say
I'm excited. If it's better with the October vibes.
For sure.
I'm definitely glad.
Yeah.
Harrison Shame said Leto's NPC method acting, at least it would have been better on set for him as Joker, probably. Yeah, Joker's another one. He's had a bad track record.
Yeah.
Even if he was a good guy, picking bad projects or unlucky project over the last couple years.
Yeah.
Now I guess Chainsaw needs my number. So now he'll go invade your streams.
Oh no.
But alright, we're gonna be jumping into the meat and potatoes of today's episode. Bits aside, things happened. That's very fun. Let's jump into season 2, episode 6 of Gen V. Now, if you guys have not been caught up with Gen V this season, we are hopping into spoilers. Things have not seen it. If you have not seen it, go away, come back later, jump in later when we talk about either Peacemaker or some of the other stuff. Gen V. So let me know, Alan, what's your kind of general vibe, since this is our first time talking about the show, for Gen V as a whole, and also I guess the world that it's inhabited, because this is the 7th season of the Boys universe as a whole. A lot more to come with spin-offs and final seasons and specials and all things coming. So what's your kind of general vibe on this universe?
So this is a universe that I absolutely adore. I believe that the first 3 seasons of The Boys are some of the best television that I've probably ever seen and ever had the honor of watching. I actually got into the show midway through season 1, I want to say.
Okay.
Maybe towards the end of season 1. So I've pretty much been on like a week-to-week basis with this show since the beginning.
I think they binge dropped that first season. So
did they?
So
okay, maybe it wasn't that one. Maybe I came
then.
in. Yeah, maybe I came in like a couple of weeks after it had dropped, and then from there on out, it's been week to week, and I've been on the ride since. So yeah, those first 3 seasons to me are like top tier, the best, some of the best television you'll ever see. I've loved Gen V, and more than I've probably ever thought I would with this show. What it feels like to me is a very solid B show for this universe right now that they are setting up to become the A show once The Boys is done. And with that being said, as much as I love the original run, I think everything post season 3, the best stuff that we've gotten from this universe has been from these 2 seasons of Gen V. I think these 2 seasons are better than The Boys season 4 was. I was very disappointed in that season. And I don't know. I don't know if I could say specifically what it is. It feels like the whole package is what I love about it. But these group of characters, I am just enthralled by. I want to root for them. I don't know. Maybe if it's because they're younger and not as weathered in this totally demented universe that we have here.
Yeah.
But like Marie's storyline, I'm just so on board with this season. You know, her dealing with all the trauma of everything that she's gone through from season 1 to her past that she did with her parents. So you got a bug in your room?
There's a spider.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm not trying to listen to you. I'm looking up.
Yeah.
You're good. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just overall, I don't want to get too long-winded to start off, but overall, I've been a big fan of this season. To the relationships of the characters. I mean, I can't think of like a weak character in this show. That I just don't love what they're doing with the character arc. If I had to like kind of nitpick a little bit and try to bring up like a negative, I would say it's very clear. I don't know the guy's name, but the guy who played Andre, who passed away, Chase, I think his first name's Chase, his last name. Yeah. You can kind of see and feel like what they wanted to do with him.
100%.
Right? And like that missing, like it feels like there was a whole sequence in Elmira that just got cut that was supposed to be a part of this season. But outside of that, I feel like they've handled it as perfect as they can, and I feel like this has been a great season so far.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, like I know there's some people that have been very against the season, being like, oh, it's a downgrade, it's not as good. I've loved it. I loved it, and I 100% agree with what you're saying with Chance. But like that's one of those things, and I said that going into the season where I'm like, if his presence feels missing, and that's my main issue with the season, I'm giving him a pass.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
great season.
That is one of those like unavoidable truths where it's like, okay, sure, but what else were they supposed to do? And I think they are doing their absolute best in comparison. It's the same with like COVID being, when like COVID was happening, it's like, this feels weird because no one's there. It's like, sure, but what else were they supposed to do? Like, it's either don't make the season or it feels a little weird. And I think with what they were given, this season has been incredibly strong. In some ways, I could see myself even liking it more than season 1. Like, season 1 might be a little bit more, like, neater, and, like, I think each episode probably fits more. But I think in terms of the overall story that they are telling and how it's ramping up, and I think especially with our villain this season, he is making it for me. Like, he is 100% what I'm like, oh. Like, I love all these characters, and somehow they did what the boys did again, where it's like, somehow the worst character was the best character, and I'm like, God damn it, they made another Homelander, and I kind of love it. And it's so weird because Homelander's kind of been my like double-edged sword for the last couple seasons of The Boys, where I'm like, he is somehow the worst and the best character at once. Where it's like, I'm a bit tired of him, but also every scene he's in is incredible and dynamic, and I love watching Anthony Starr do his thing. And they did it again with this villain. Which is maybe why I'm liking the season so much, because I, again, love Homelander, think he's great. It's been a lot. It's been 4 seasons of The Boys, arguably Gen V season 1 in a way with his
he showed up at the end.
And even this season he's still the
everywhere.
Homelander is that guy, this looming thing. So I think it's so refreshing having this like new faced villain of like, oh, okay, this is new, this is refreshing. But like to go into the episode itself, like this was definitely felt like the bridging episode. This was the episode where we are kind of bringing everything together. It's kind of, as big action stuff happens here as well, but like it's kind of the setup. It's like, okay, let's bring everybody back together. All the characters are in one room. We are doing dialogue. We're setting up the tone. We're giving our characters information, and we are literally sending them on their way to go into the final 2 episodes. Like we literally end the episode with them walking to the final showdown of the season. And I think episodes like this can be very hit or miss. They can either work very well or it can be very heavy-handed. I thought it worked very well in this case. I think it didn't feel too pandering. It didn't feel too, oh, this is what we're doing now. Oh, we need to tell the audience what's happening. I do think it's interesting. Like, there's a thing that there is a reveal that I'm 99% sure that's going to happen next week that I keep forgetting hasn't been revealed yet, which is that, like, Gedoken is Cypher, that they are the one person. And I keep forgetting that they're, like, the audience doesn't know that yet. I was like, oh, yeah. And I am a little afraid it's going to be very similar to the twist we had in The Boys season 4, where it's like, like this guy in Butcher's head is actually fake. That reveal did not work for me at all. So that is the one thing I'm afraid of going into next week.
Well, that one was just like completely telegraphed from the moment. And I feel like they had such a huge focus on it that it was like, at least with this, it's kind of just been a background thing, right? It hasn't really been at like the forefront. Like, I mean, I'm curious to find out what the situation is with like Sister Sage being involved with Cypher and like, her, like, because clearly they have some type of plan together, but they haven't really dived into what exactly she's doing and what her end game and all this is. But yeah, it definitely is working some better, right, than that one in The Boys season 4 with Butcher. So
that was such a. Again, like, I saw it on the wall, and I feel bad for it, because I know that they thought they cooked with that. They're like, this is such a good... And it's us, episode 1, first scene, being like...
right away,
Is he really right? Is he a fake man? And it to the point, it would have been a bigger twist if he was real. What confuses me, because they said they wanted to give that character a spin-off. And I was like... How?
It was a red herring. They were just saying that to get us off the trail of something they knew was completely obvious. But
no, that happened like end of the season, like after the final.
Oh, did they really?
Episode. Yeah.
Oh,
and I'm like, are we going to like? Is this like a Venom situation where like once Butcher dies, it like crawls out of his brain, and I don't know. Like, is that what we're? I don't. What
Maybe.
is?
Yeah, it's gonna just be Jeffrey Dean Morgan, whoever the person takes over. Yeah.
In fairness, I would watch a Jeffrey Dean Morgan show in the Boys.
Absolutely.
Like if it was if he was just a real character, I'd be like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, when I heard he was gonna be in it, I was like, oh, that is like the most perfect casting for a show that you could possibly get.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, and then next season we have the Supernatural reunion. So it's like, okay, you obviously have the main 3, and then you have to get Bobby's actor in there, and you have to get him in there somewhere as well to somehow do a thing. Because you don't have all 5 in the season and not have them do something. But I'm trying to think where do I want to really dive in with this episode? Like what's
so I wanted to give my thoughts on the episode.
Yes, go ahead.
Just because so I know I've been praising this show, right? And everything about this season so far. I kind of am on the other side of the fence where I do think that this was probably the weakest episode of the season so far. Only because when I talk about, missing the character of Andre, I think this was besides the first episode, this was the episode where I felt that the strongest, where I feel like the Elmira situation wrapped up way too quickly. And I went back and I watched the conversation between Kate and Emma when they were in Elmira, and there was some ADR performed in that.
Sure.
So I look at that and I'm like, it felt a little disjointed in how it resolved, how everything played out. I liked the concept of, Marie resurrecting her sister to kind of get that next level of power. I just felt like it was a little sloppy and put together to get there. And then, where we go at the end of the episode, obviously with familiar faces showing up. We'll see how that plays out. I'll say that, and how I feel about it.
I am curious, like, what did that original draft look like? Because I still kind of think, I wonder if half the season would have been there, like them never leaving.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because it makes sense. It's like, okay, how can we possibly write around that with him not there? It's like, well, we can't. You could, but it would have been very awkward, very hard, and then there would have been a shining light on like, where is he? Like you have to have that time. You have to have them retrospective. But I think that was their way of like, okay, we're doing what we wanted to do, but in a weird backwards way where they have to be in there, get out, then go back in and then break out again. Like I will say in that way where it is okay. It is a little back and forthy. It's a little like we are kind of jumping around.
That's why I wonder, like, were they just there? Like, did they never leave?
Right.
Were those first 4 episodes just them in Elmira trying to navigate with what's going on and introducing Cypher there and stuff like that.
Right, and they just never go back to school. Because I will say, they haven't gone to school much. Like, they're not really, to be fair, season 1 didn't either that much either, but it doesn't really feel like they care about them in school doing their thing. Like, even the whole, like, Jordan being number 1 issue and that whole thing, like, it does feel like very like, oh, he's number 1 now, and now he's doing this, and now he's doing this, and now he's doing this, and I still like it a lot, but it is very snappy, and it does feel like some of these plot lines could have been like 2 or 3 episodes. It's like, nope, they're done, and we're not dealing with these, these situations whatsoever. Or maybe some of it was meant for like a season 3 or something like that. They had to switch it around.
Well, even like how quickly they allowed Marie to come back and allowed those characters all to come back. It just felt like we rushed through and we're like, especially that first episode, that was really where I felt it. I think the worst out of all the episodes, the first episode, because they just kept like over explaining everything. And I was like,
fair.
And obviously, again, they couldn't do anything. It's the character wasn't there. It's like you had to make it work with what you had, but you could just feel it, and it was like, this is. It would have been a lot better if we didn't have this situation. Obviously, it reminds me of Wakanda, kind of like Wakanda Forever, right? Where it was like, it was a terrible tragedy. We lost a character that was supposed to be here, but they made the best that they could out of it. A little sloppy, but they did it.
And I can't, like, this episode, I'm so worried about Polaris, right? I'm so curious what we're doing with him, because my sensors are like, they're gonna kill him. Like that feels like where his arc is going right now. It's like, okay, him sacrificing himself for his children, or for the kids. I'm like, but would you do that? Because I do think that was the original arc. I think he would have died to protect his son and his friends and this next like generation, and it's a do what I couldn't, this is my way of like helping my crimes I did for Vought for so many years. And again, now it's like, now it's almost like you can't kill Polaris, because if you kill both of them, that's just mean-spirited almost. Like, that's a tragedy. And
it's like
now
a double tragedy for him. He lost his son, and now he's got to go too. It's like, ugh.
And now we've introduced this like here. And like that's even more heartbreaking, because it's like, oh, we could have saved him too if we had more time. It's like, oh man. So again, I don't know where they're going with that.
I don't know how true though, because that was what Cypher was talking about.
That was Cypher. Yeah.
I don't know, that might be a little mental manipulation to me, but we'll see.
100%. We had the return of San Edgar this week as well.
Yeah.
With I joke a lot about Giancarlo and he plays the same character, blah blah blah. But it's the best damn character in anything he's in.
It is, yeah.
Like, I fuck fun with it's just Gus Fring again, but I fucking love Gus Fring so fucking much.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like, I'll take it every time.
And the one time it's not with Captain America 4, I kind of hated his character, and it wasn't his fault, obviously. No. It wasn't on him, but it's like, I kind of just done Gus Fring again. Because, like, I kept saying that because like there were so many fan casting for, not to get on a side tangent for the MCU, but like people were like, have him be Norman Osborn or Doctor Doom. I'm like, no, that's just Gus Fring again.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I don't know, I probably would have preferred that over what they
did. Yeah. Well, that one, I'm like, I feel like that was just such a nothing burger of a character. It was like you wasted Gus Fring on nothing. Yeah. Like this was so irrelevant and not like he deserves something better.
Use Secret Wars to wipe him off and give him a proper character. Give him something he can chew on. Because like he kept saying, I want to be a hero. Like give me a hero. Didn't give him a hero. I was like, that sucks.
I know he really like keyed in on like Professor X and stuff like so he was looking at like major characters. I know he would, even if he didn't get that, he would have probably been fine. But he deserves something bigger than that. I don't even know the character's name. I totally forgot what the character's name was in Captain America.
It was like the Scorpion or the something King.
Your guess is way better.
Serpent King, Serpent Society King, whatever.
Jonathan
in the chat, what up, Jonathan, said, how would you feel if Marie showed up to help Huey and MM take down? I think the whole cast is here next season. I think the gap between what is the boys and what is Gen V is slipping very, very. They are really combining into one show, and to the point, like I'm pretty sure almost every episode, if not every episode this season, has had a cameo from the boys' show. We've had
I think you're right.
We've had the Deep, we've had Firecracker, we've had Sister Sage, we've had like every episode there was someone popping in. Yes, Starlight, and we had 2 this week with Edgar and also the daughter, Newman's daughter, which like at first I was like, wait, I know her, who is she? And then she did the snake thing. I was like, oh, it's her. Okay, that's right. So that was
a great scene too. I love that.
Fantastic.
They're all struggling, and then she comes up and just ends
instantly.
The dude quick. Yeah.
And like her performance is also so good because she's such a violent character. It's just like, all right, what's next? Let's go.
It works,
like, it's so much fun. And like I do wonder if that's a bit of the like her coping maybe. Like she has probably killed hundreds of people and she probably has not processed that grief properly. She probably is too young to even understand, or not, she's not that young, but I bet she was never fought the full consequences of her actions and what does death really mean. Like I think once you kill that much, you're like, so what does death mean? Like what is death? So I actually love it. They actually dove into her a little bit more. Honestly, if we do a Gen V season 2, she is a young soup. Let's just add her to our group. Like that would be really cool as well. That'd be really awesome.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like they're laying the groundwork very effortlessly to be like, okay, once the boys' characters are done and their stories are wrapped up, we have a whole new group to just take it over and take the gauntlet and go forward. Like I love what they're doing here.
I've also had the pitch on like the complete other side of it where I'm like, what if this is the final season? Right? Like I have this thing in my mind where I'm like, I could see the ending of the show, the season being Marie dying and like Cypher taking her body. Like that being the ending.
That would be insane.
Like it seems like he needs her for something. He needs that is special. This body seems to be not lasting that much longer. It seems like this body that Cypher, the Gulkin, whatever is taking over. It seems like there's not that much left in it. So it's like that would be a crazy ending. And maybe we could get the body back afterwards. Like maybe it's not she's dead, but it does end being like Marie's my new meat suit. I am now one of the more powerful soups in the world. That goes into the whole plot line of like Marie being one of the only people that can kill Homelander. And then is it a thing? Because I do think either next season or after it's going to be this like almost a race to kill Homelander. It seems like there's going to be maybe 2 or 3 different groups that are all trying to kill Homelander.
To get him. Yeah.
And then there's a power vacuum that I am very excited about. It's like, okay, once Homelander is gone, and I assume Vought blows up in a particular way, who takes over? Because we have the Boys Mexico coming. I assume Gen V season 3 if we go that direction. Is it Sister Sage? Is it Cypher? Is it Stan Edgar? Is it coming like back? There's so many, and I would love a season of like it's like Game of Thrones but the boys, where it's like
who takes over
rebuilding Vought from the ground up, and like maybe that's the Boys Mexico. I don't know, I'm still not. It's hard because I don't know anything. Like, we know nothing. That could be the cast we know with different places or whatever. It could be something we don't even know what's happening still. Like, we haven't heard anything from it in like at least a year. So like,
And then too, I don't know. I think I kind of lean towards what Jonathan said, where I kind of feel like maybe Cypher and Sister Sage's plan is to get Marie to go after Homelander and her be the one to. I've read some theories where people maybe, and I might agree with it, where people think that she's going to get so powerful that she is able to extract the V from Homelander, which, like, for him, I think that's a worse fate for him, living without being a soup, than dying is. And I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, oh man, that, I don't know. But then I'm like, are they going to give Marie that important of a role? Like, everyone wants Butcher to be the one to
it needs
do
to be.
I feel like it needs to be. So that's why I'm like, I like that theory, but then I'm like, I feel like you're kind of stomping on what is natural for the main show. So I don't know.
That is my only main concern, because so far you haven't had to watch the boy or like to watch the movie to understand the boys.
Yeah.
I am a little nervous about next season if there are only the boys watchers that are like, yo, what the hell? Who are these people? Yeah. Like, I think last season it worked because they were just like, okay, perfect. Random people that you didn't need to know, but if you knew, you got something a little extra.
Yeah.
But I do like that concept a lot, where it's like the punishment, like dying would be the easiest out for Homelander.
Yeah.
And then that is an interesting dynamic that Butcher now has. Yeah. Does he still kill Homelander? Does he kill someone who's not innocent, but powerless, selfless to stop him? Yeah. Is this now a stop Butcher from killing Homelander arc for like the final episode or something? Is that too lame?
I don't feel
know.
So weird. Yeah. And it kind of goes into what I didn't like. I didn't like Butcher's character arc in season 4.
I did not like
I really didn't.
No, I didn't either.
And I think that's part of what really made me think that that's the worst season that we've gotten so far, is that I just don't like this art. Like, I understand Butcher is so obsessed with taking down Homelander that he would do anything for it, but then it's like we're just kind of completely changing his character, and I don't know. Yeah, maybe maybe it'll feel satisfying once we get the ending, but I don't know.
I don't hate the boys seasons for it. Like, I still stand by. It's not necessarily a bad season. It's the worst season. There is a difference.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, since that has ended, like, I have such a negative view on the show since that season has ended. It's just a bitter taste in my mouth. It's just a bunch of like little things.
Yeah.
It's like the season's okay in general, but it's like, this plot line and this plot line and this plot line and this plot line and this plot line. And like, I am at a point, to circle back to like what you were saying at like kind of the start, where it's like, I kind of don't like any of the boys' characters at this point, which is the point. Right, but they are all such shitty characters, and they are such unlikable characters. Like, even the most likable characters, like Starlight and Huey, I'm kind of like, I kind of don't like you anymore. I don't know. But again,
I think that's more the writing.
That's the point. Like the point is that, like, to beat the bad guys, they had to become bad guys of their own. That is the narrative that they're telling. But like, I don't know. I kind of need them to fix some of that, especially for Butcher. Butcher, I'm like, I kind of hate you now. I hate you now.
Yeah. Which I didn't think they were going to take such a drastic turn for his character. That's the part of I'm like, man. Like, I've loved Butcher for so long.
Butcher's
like
so much fun.
Yeah. Seeing him go down this route, it's just like, ugh, I don't want to see this. It's kind of, it's like, I'm not enjoying this. This is not like, I understand maybe narratively it makes sense, but it's not something I want to see.
I need a little bit of this season, next season, to be his like redemption arc. Not necessarily in morality, but in just like, oh, everyone hates me now. How do I try to rebuild this in the most butchery way that I can? Because he's never going to be here and be like, yeah, guys, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. He's never going to do that. But I do think there's going to be a part of him that is like trying to make amends without fully doing it and doing it in his most butchery kind of way. I think once he accepts, because again, there's no way you end that season with not both. I think Butcher's dead. There's no way around next season, and I'd argue Homelander as well, unless they do what you just pitched with the powerless thing. But either way, it's the end of both of those characters' journeys.
100%. 100%.
So how do you set that up? How do you continue that.
I think Ryan can get us there with what you were talking about with Butcher, where like because we haven't really gotten Ryan's reaction to like what Butcher is now. So I wonder if that's the way that Butcher kind of gets back to the light, is from Ryan, and after Ryan sees what he's become. But we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Ryan's also a character I wouldn't mind meeting our like Gen V crew, like especially with the stuff we got this week, where it's like Marie's kind of Homelander's cousin, which I thought was really fun. Where it's like, now I am nothing like him. It's like, well, no, of course you're not, but you did come from the same test tube.
Yeah,
and which I also like. Even if we don't get a lot of that next season, they do need to meet again. They need to have an interaction. They need to have some kind of collision course, which will be interesting to see.
Don't get me wrong, I want that. I definitely want them to fight. I just don't want it to be the finale, right? Like if they come to a head, maybe as like a penultimate episode, but it's got to end with Homelander and Butcher coming to blows. Yeah. We got it. We got a sneak peek of it in season 3, and it was like the best moment of the entire show. So yeah.
This is an interesting theory. Butcher is also a suit. Maybe Marie heals Butcher. Can she get rid of the cancer for like a little while, or like extract the venom thing from him? I would really.
I didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Be a very fun way to, because you can't go another whole season with him as this like zombie butcher thing. But again, maybe that's how we do the whole Jeffrey D. Morgan thing. Like she extracts him from the body, and now this creature is stuck as like Jeffrey D. Morgan because that's the image he had in Butcher's head. You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff there. And again, we're doing like a Venom show basically in the Boys universe.
But played by Jeffrey D. Morgan. That would be I'm actually kind of sold on that. I feel like that would be cool. Pretty good. Yeah.
Speaking of Jeffrey D. Morgan, Taz is here, who's nothing like
Hello
Jeffrey
there.
D. Morgan. I needed a segue.
How's it going?
Taz,
how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
What'd you think of this episode of Gen V, Taz?
Well, they were generational. Very generational.
Sure.
They were generational V. No.
Yes.
Very nice. I'm trying to think, because again, like I think a lot happened this week, but it was also such a like streamlined week as well. It was like a lot happened, but not a lot happened. I really liked the fight scene we had with the giant Thor character that we had with the hammer and everything like that. I love how powerful our group is, and yet not powerful at all, depending on the episode. Let's talk about Marie's sister officially, because this was officially, arguably, her first episode. You've seen her in flashbacks. We saw a bit last week, but she was an actual character this week. She is a soup, which I think I called that like week 1 or week 2, where like I was like, I think she might have powers, and we're like, no, she doesn't. No, she does. Which is a mystery still. We don't know when she got her powers. I pitched, I think, early on in the season where it's like, okay, maybe when she was in the womb, there was some like stuff left somehow from Marie and she got it, which would maybe kind of make sense because it seems like she's a lot less of a powerful soup. Like out of all the soups we've seen in the show, she's probably the weakest in terms of like physical powers. And she like she even said, it's like, it sometimes doesn't work. Like sometimes it means nothing, but sometimes it does mean something, which is
seems
like
really
premonition.
Just like heightened intuition is like really all it is. It's not, I don't know. It's not. It's
just like premonitions, which is, I like it. It's a cool power to have. It's also like plot device to power though, because it's just like anything they need her to figure out in the show, they can just be like, I'm feeling something. Oh no, it's Homeland. They can just like, Homelander's going to attack the president. We got to get, like they can just do that. And hopefully the writing is smart enough where it doesn't just be like, oh, all right, whatever. It's a MacGuffin of the episode. I don't think it's smart not to have, like, they probably didn't want another powerhouse character. Like, I assume they wanted it to be like, okay, she is a soup. There's that thing. There's an unspoken thing there, but also she can't like lift buildings with her mind or melt people's faces. Like she's still needs protecting from the group, and she needs Marie to be the older sister and be like, stay away from my sister. And I thought, like, the argument in the episode from them at first kind of pissed me off a little bit. It was like, you are so out of line here, like, you know nothing about what's happening. But also I think it's so realistic. I think she's valid in being able to feel those things. Where, why is she wrong? Yes, this is everything that's happened to you is not your sister's fault. But I do think from her POV, she spent the last 10 years building up these emotions and these angers and these thoughts on her sister and how it's her faults. And that day she lost her parents and her sister, and it ruined her aunt's life as well. Like, it did all these things.
I was just saying that she has the aunt constantly putting her down, constantly making her feel like the villain in the situation. So it's no wonder she would think that way about her sister and think she's a monster, but
100%.
We know the difference, right? We know
the difference, and it's also been a rough 24 hours for her. Like, she died. Like, she found out her sister's alive, and she died, and her sister brought her back. And now they're fugitives. There's that scene with Emma where it's like, hey, you're not going there. You're going to Canada. She's having a rough.
She's like, what? I'm not going to Canada. What? What's going on?
No, like,
anyone would react that way too. It's
like her sister's back. She's a known criminal. She died. Like, a lot of emotions, and I can't blame her for struggling to deal with them. But we are in just a situation where you can't be. Like, we cannot afford these strong emotions right now. We have to be level-headed.
We have to be
composed
and get out of this situation before we deal with all this, essentially.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it's the same thing that with Marie. It's like a lot of trauma that has just been not dealt with and has been building up for, a decade or however long it was. And that kind of all just came to a head all at once. And like you said, she died, right? So, like, that's obviously very dramatic. And to know you died and then got revived, it's like, yeah, this isn't going to be the most calm person in the room, if we're being honest.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah. Jonathan asks, how strong is Annabeth's powers? Can she see years into the future or just a couple minutes? I kind of read it as like a spider sense. It's like, she kind of has just like a feeling, and she could be like over there or like over here, or like this thing is coming. Like, I don't know if she saw Sam in a van, or like Sam with the van punching through the wall. I just think she was like, something's happening over here and we need to go this way. But also it seems like maybe not 100%. Like, it seems like that has happened to her.
Yeah.
But nothing has happened. So it's like, it's not dependable. But again, plot device. Like, they could use so much with that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to 100% be... There's going to be something going on that's major. Someone's going to be rolling up, and then she's just going to be like, look, they're coming. And then she's going to be right.
No, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
I also want to add, too. I know this is kind of off topic.
No, go ahead.
I don't know if anyone in the council group or anything has talked about this. Every time I see Sam now, I can't do anything but picture Draven. I just can't. I'm like, they are identical. They have to be related.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, they have to be related. I'm like, anytime. Even my wife is like, that looks like the guy that you do the streams with. And I'm like, yep.
I think Draven's made a whole TikTok about it. Being like, people say I look like Sam. It's like,
oh my god, they're identical. It's crazy.
It's really funny. I mean, Sam's back into the mix as well this week, which I liked. Like, some of it, I was like, oh, okay, I get. Like, it did feel like we skipped a couple steps in getting there, but I guess it also makes sense for, like, okay, the talk he had with his mom last week, and he thought about what happened, and I assume maybe he went back to the campus and they were not there, and I don't know how he connected the pieces. Maybe he went. No, that wouldn't make sense.
Well, no, I think Emma talked to him and kind of told them what they were doing,
where they were going. Yeah. And then, like, when they didn't come back or he didn't hear anything, he's like, okay, I should go find and see what's up with that. We're doing the romance stuff again with him and Emma. I personally didn't miss that element too much. Like, I like Sam and Emma. I don't necessarily need them together. Like, I actually think Emma has been such a stronger character this season
on her own.
On her own journey, I think. And also, I'd argue Sam as well, on his own and on his own journey.
I'm iffy on Sam and like what they're doing with him a little bit. It feels a little bit like a rehash of him like learning to accept like who he is and kind of deal with all the craziness, I know we got a little bit more about like why he's the way he is with his mom and that conversation and everything, but feels a little retreaded to me.
I do think he's the weakest character. And even though I really liked his stuff last week with his parents, I enjoyed those scenes a lot. He is the one where I'm like, if he left, I don't think I'd care too much, and I do need them to do more with him going forward. And
he kind of feels like the back pocket character, like the one that's like, all right, we're going to keep him kind of just lurking in the background until we need him for his
he's our muscle.
Ridiculous.
Which I thought he could have handled the Thor guy with ease. I was like, oh no, he was struggling. He was getting his ass beat a little bit. So
I couldn't believe that. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah. It was nice to have the whole group together though for the first time in the season. Like I do think that is the show's strongest point, are this ensemble cast that all have chemistry with each other, getting to work together again for the first time. Like I appreciate that. And I was worried going into the season because they separated them, and I think a lot of shows do this where it's like, okay, there's a falling out, but next season you have to bring them all together, and sometimes to me it feels either forced or not genuine, or it's like, oh, we have to be together again. I liked that they took their time with it. I liked that it doesn't just kind of... Sam was the one that did feel a little out of place to me, but I think in general, especially with Kate, how easily they made that transition. Like I thought it was going to be end of the season thing. They would be, okay, now she has her redemption. But it's like, no, they took their time with it. They let it sit.
Started off very rocky too with her getting attacked by them, and it was
almost killed her episode 1. And it's like the transition was very fast, but also I think it works because of the subtext they set up, where it's like they didn't exactly have a choice in The Boys season 4. Like we were in that show and I was fully like, oh fuck them, what the hell, they went full on. But then you kind of see, oh, there wasn't really much of a choice. And I think this show is so special because you get to see in between Vought's lives even more than you could previously. Like you're seeing in the midst of everything, and it's like, oh, they couldn't necessarily just say no, right? Yeah. If they say no, they're probably dead.
You can't say no to
Homelander. Or it's like they probably, that was probably their only option. And getting to see it, I think, was very smart. I agree. Do you have any other thoughts, feelings? Any predictions for these final 2 episodes?
No, I mean, I think my prediction, obviously, I think with what you said, I believe the charred body is going to be revealed to be Thomas Godolkin. I feel like they've set that up for a reason, that very first episode. And I'm going to say that I think Cypher is essentially like an extension of him and is him.
Yes.
I don't know if you might have mentioned that, but
yes.
So I think that's where we're going, and then I think we're just going to get more definitive answers about where these characters are going to be once season 5 of The Boys rolls around. I'm excited, and I've been loving this season so far.
Yeah. I think Cypher's nothing more than a meat puppet. I think Cypher might just be a random guy that would just stumbled upon him someday. Is like, yep, you're my new puppet. Let's make you a whole new life, whatever. Or it's just like a politician or someone of power. He's like, oh, you're mine now, and it has just been Godolkin this whole time. And then again, like I've said this last couple weeks, we're going to need a new Homelander post The Boys ending. What a good big bad to take it over. Then the guy who kind of started it all those years ago, 100 years ago. Like that's a great new big bad, if it's just for this show or just the universe at large. Or, like, again, is it Sister Sage? Because it seems like Sister Sage is kind of like...
pulling the strings a little bit. Yeah. There's something to her. She's got something up her sleeve, I think, for Homelander next season.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Hello, Cat. You've never done this on stream. What's going on? I think we're gonna wrap it up there for Gen V this week. Taz, what's up, man? How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're doing good.
Good.
Fun conversations all around.
Not stuffy again. Mm-hmm. I was congested and a mess last week. Yeah, it's that time of year.
Yeah, I was just say, yeah, everyone in my household has been sick in the last couple weeks, so
Yeah.
We kind of teased it at the start, Taz, but we were both saying we had some Dexter news this last couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we were like, we have to wait to Taz to talk about it. While I let this cat out of my room because he's begging to leave. Do you wanna talk some Dexter as I do that?
Yeah, I mean, over the last week or so, we got it finally officially confirmed. Not only are we getting a Dexter Resurrection Season 2, but the writer's room is open, and they're back to work. We got a nice little video confirmation from Michael C. Hall himself that was posted all over all of the, Dexter's social medias. I saw some of the other actors jumping in, talking about it. It's an exciting time. Time. And I think, we all kind of knew that this was happening, but it also does confirm as well that unfortunately the Save Dexter Original Sin petition has kind of fallen through the cracks, it seems like. And I think it really does confirm our theory that it was like, hey, you guys get one or the other, not both.
Yeah.
But I'm, as sad as that is, you got to be very excited that we're going to be getting a season 2.
I think making us wait for both was a relief. Or I think helps that pain a little bit because, we were all pretty confident season 2 was happening, but there was still that thing in the back of my mind was like, why haven't you renewed it? If you canceled the one to get the other, you should just, that should be renewed already.
There was that rumor that they were going to renew it for season 2 and 3 at once, so maybe that was still a discussion.
Right.
Maybe that's
some
what
behind
they
the scenes,
back. Yeah.
Right? Is some behind the scenes logistics is like, okay, can we get a 2-season renewal up front? But I think again, I don't want to say that that's an issue that we weren't renewed for 2 seasons up front. That's very rare.
Yeah.
But they've said that they have a multi-season arc planned. I would say, at a minimum, they probably have a 4-season story arc planned, right? Think about the original show it was kind of broken up into 2 4-season arcs, and I would assume that they want to do the same thing for Resurrection. Yeah. There's also been some, I just saw an article come out from Dexter Daily talking about some of the stuff from the potential, or I guess now canceled Harrison spinoff that they were originally throwing around before Resurrection happened.
This definitely morphed
so
into
maybe
it,
that's something that could maybe happen in the future if they want to, call it quits after 4 seasons of Resurrection, and we could get kind of that Harrison story with maybe Dexter coming in every so often. But I mean, it seems like Michael C. Hall is kind of in. I don't see them willingly ending this show anytime soon. I think it's very possible that we get another 8 seasons, 8 to, what would, imagine how crazy that would be. I mean, who knows, right? Imagine how crazy that would be if Resurrection goes on for longer than the original series.
That'd be crazy.
It's like a Grey's Anatomy thing where we're on season 20 of Dexter. We're like, Jesus Christ, just killing this dude already.
So somebody needs to impose Michael C. Hall's head onto Hugh Jackman and Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah,
and be like, they're gonna make a
until
play
you're 90.
90.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have Dexter Resurrection season 10 where they're gonna pull a book from what's that show that the funky trailers have been coming out for?
911.
911. Yep, exactly. Dexter versus the asteroids.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. When Michael C. Hall is done as Dexter, we need to do a plot line where he his mind gets transferred into a new actor, and it's they know who I am. I must become someone else. And he goes into
no, he gets plastic surgery. He gets plastic surgery.
Yeah. Do the old soap opera storylines. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh no, Dexter time travels and hops into his younger self's body. Oh. And then that's how we bring back the actor
Gibson.
from Original Sin.
I wouldn't want it, but I kind of fuck with the time travel story. He's going through time, killing off all the famous serial killers.
Oh, Dexter joins Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Dexter Morgan, we need your help.
Dexter versus Bundy. That's the season.
Jack the Ripper. Oh, actually, that's such a fun idea.
Make
That
it like
could-
a fan film. I wouldn't want them to actually do it, but,
though,
like,
imagine
fan-
like a multi-episode arc or something. Like the villain is kind of like a scarecrow kind of figure, right? Is like maybe he gets drugged, and then Dexter has to to get out of whatever's going on. He takes on all these famous serial killers from throughout the. Okay, that's
No,
ridiculous.
have him show up in the Monster series. Go up against Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer, the Melendez brothers. There we go. We got it.
Unironically, though, do it as a dream episode or something. He knocks his head out or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it's not nothing is really happening.
Yeah.
But it would it'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be kind of fun.
That's fun. We also got a game announcement for Dexter, kind of, Taz.
Yeah, so not necessarily a game, but they are apparently is Paramount's apparently looking at ways to advertise Dexter or have different brand collaborations with games for the 20th anniversary coming up next year. And the big one that everybody was throwing around, of course, is Fortnite. So I definitely wouldn't put it past them to have a Dexter collab in there. I mean, who knows? Maybe we get a Call of Duty bundle or something like that for Black Ops 7. I could see it now. That would be a fun one. What other games would he work in?
I mean, if we're just doing Fortnite, I don't want just Dexter. I want Batista. I want
everyone.
Dokes. I really want.
Dokes that'd be so good. That'd be so good.
Surprise, motherfucker! He's killing.
You know what?
People. Arthur Morgan would be really fun.
What they should
do?
Sorry,
Mitchell.
They should do Dead by Daylight, where one team plays as the cops with Dokes as the leader, and then the other team is serial killers with Dexter as the leader. Boom.
Fun.
That'd be fun.
That's how you do it.
That'd be fun.
A Telltale's game type Dexter game. With that.
Yes,
that would.
I would like that.
That'd be really good.
I mean
that original that original
okay.
canceled game was kind of like it. Not really. But...
Yeah, we've talked about just the idea of a Dexter game previously, where it's that would be really cool. It would be super meta because that's literally a plot line within Dexter of him being "This is not cool. Don't make a game out of me, you sick fucks." And it'd be well, I guess we're sick fucks, all right.
Well, I mean, Dexter in the style of Hitman or something would be pretty cool as well.
That'd be really fun. Yeah. For sure.
Funny enough, IOI Interactive is making the James Bond game with Patrick Gibson. So
yes.
Yep. So, actually, hold on. That would be perfect. A Dexter skin for the James Bond game.
You know what?
You've already got Dexter as your lead.
Yeah.
A version of Dexter.
Yeah. All right. With that being said, we're moving on to our second major topic here today. Before it gets too much later here, one of the I'd say maybe it might be the most controversial episode of TV this year so far. Peacemaker season 2, the season finale, if not the series finale. Honestly, right now, I actually think I might just call it series finale until we hear otherwise, because James Gunn has said he currently has no plans. So I'm going to say this is the series finale of Peacemaker, and if he gets a season 3, I'll be well, it's revived. It's coming back for another one in however many years. I
mean, it's coming back.
Well, the characters are coming back.
Yeah,
characters coming back.
But no, I agree. I don't think that there is going to be a season 3 of Peacemaker.
No,
it'll be something else.
It'll be like a Checkmate show.
Checkmate is what?
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So Taz, you weren't here last week, right?
No.
You abandoned us.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, you weren't here last week. Remember kind of where we were in terms of your thought. So it was episode 6, right? Episode 6. That's when the Nazi thing first got revealed, right? When he's running down the street, they're chasing him. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So then I missed episode 7 discussion with you guys, and not a lot happened there. It was the conclusion to the Earth X story, right? And it seemed like it was setting up for a big finale, and the finale had absolutely nothing to do with that episode for the most part, outside of just the aftermath of it, right? We got some really cool elements there, though. I really loved Adebayo and Judo Master kind of bonding in that episode. That was fun. I loved the of course, kind of like more, Peacemaker, Harcourt, like, I guess not relationship stuff, but like very sentimental kind of things, right?
Yeah.
But obviously the big thing was the kind of pent up trauma coming back to the surface for Chris, and seeing his dad get killed again, seeing his brother almost get killed, like that was his breaking point.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the tease that were left on. Vigilante had absolutely no chill in that episode whatsoever. They leave Keith kind of on a bit of a cliffhanger as far as like he could come back, he might not.
Yeah.
The idea was, he's gonna invade Prime Earth in the next episode, in the finale episode, but he never came back. That was the last we saw of him, which was in my mind really weird. And I know, Darren, you and I have talked about this kind of all season, is like, if the Earth X story doesn't culminate in something meaningful, it will almost seem pointless. And I kind of had the counter argument there where I was like, you know what? Earth X doesn't really matter. It's kind of a plot device. It's just a means to an end, right? That was just the catalyst to get to the point in which Chris realizes, okay, the grass isn't always greener. I need to go back with my friends, with my family, basically. Yes, I have, quote unquote, everything I ever wanted, but it's not in the way that I would have wanted it. Like, I did kind of like the twist that his dad on this earth was not necessarily evil. Like, he was seemingly a better person than the version of him on Prime Earth.
Yeah. I've heard that debate. Yes. He was a better person here than he was in the main.
Yeah.
Not necessarily a great person, but he was.
No, but a better person.
Yes,
right?
He is better.
And I saw people throwing around those stupid theories. Like, I don't always say, like, stupid theory, that this version of his dad was his real dad, and, like...
Oh my god.
Like, no. Yeah.
And they're
very tinfoil hat.
Out,
and people were like, "Oh, that's why he was defending Chris, and he didn't really care that he had killed his son." Is like, no. But all that to say, where we pick things up in the finale is we get back over to Prime Earth. Yes, that is our vigilante. The other vigilante stayed on the other Earth.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
But we kind of have that confrontation between Chris and Flag. He gives over the portal device, gives himself up, and is like, hey, I deserve this, arrest me. And that's kind of where we pick things up in the finale. And so what do you guys think going into this? Because I was like, it's good setup, and they just need to execute it properly.
I want to have Alan say his thoughts first, because I feel like I'm a hot take comparatively to a lot of people online.
Well, I have been seeing your takes, so I'll say I don't think we're as far off as you might think.
Okay, cool.
So I'm going to talk about the whole season just because I haven't been on any of these really.
Of course,
I think I was here for episode 1 on the show that we did, but I think that there are a lot of positives of this season. I think there's a lot of entertainment value out of this season. I think it is a holy mess of a season narratively, in the way it's structured. Positives right off rip, the character arcs and the like emotional character moments of this season, some of the best that we've gotten in this universe, in this series in particular. The scene with Ads and Chris in episode 8, absolute tearjerker. Very well acted. Taz, you talked about, the moment where he breaks down when he's seeing Keith getting killed. Amazing acting by John Cena. One of the best moments of his career. The relationship, the dynamic between him and Harcourt all season, and kind of the will they, won't they, back and forth, was very, once you get into the final episode, and they finally, embrace each other. Feel good moment, felt incredible. Felt like the most natural conclusion to their arcs. I think the way, like you said, Earth X kind of being a means to an end. I feel like that's the best description of how they used Earth X this season. I think it was the first time in this whole like multiverse era that we're in comic book properties where they used another dimension to actually improve the character arc and the story rather than just say, hey, look at this cameo or look at who's coming back. I thought that was all great. My problem, though, with this season is why did we spend 7 episodes on a dimension that essentially is a metaphor for the character and to get him to his personal end, his inner end, and coming to the natural conclusion of his character, and then just kind of scoot it aside, and then spend the last episode speed running through a bunch of this. Yeah. When that should have been extended out, and we should have ended Earth X a couple episodes ago. But instead, we spent run it in the last episode. When also, and I want to say,
I think it should have been 10 episodes instead of 8.
I agree. 100%. I agree 100%.
It could have been 13. It could there was so much.
Yeah, 8 episode seasons in general, I think, are like the death of TV. I mean, that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
I hate when shows are 8 episodes. It's never enough for anything. And I feel like, that kind of just encapsulates, I think, everything wrong. There's a lot that I loved about this season, but there's also so much of it that just didn't work from like a narrative perspective. And I do think everything in this season that was interesting did happen in Earth X. Like all the actual external threats that were happening with like Argus and Rick Flag Sr., I just didn't really care about it. And it wasn't there wasn't.
Well, and a lot of it seemed like it didn't matter in the end. We never went back to Red Saint Wild. We never went back to Prime Eagle Eagly. We never went back to a lot of these things. We never went back to like a lot of the Rick Flag Sr. stuff too. Like he felt like a. Here's my biggest thing with the finale. He felt like a completely different character from what we saw in Creature Commandos, which felt like a very different character from what we saw in Superman
even this season.
Like he felt like 3 different characters. It's almost like he's being used as whatever James Gunn needs him to be used as in that specific project. Like he was fairly almost like troubled heroic in Creature Commandos. He was I'm just a guy doing my job. I'm doing what I'm told in Superman. So if I'm the bad guy, I'm the bad guy. If I'm the good guy, I'm the good guy. I'm just following orders.
There's an episode missing for his arc.
Power trip. I drank 1 sip of the Lex Luthor Kool-Aid and now I'm a megalomaniac.
I didn't understand
just like a maniac. Basically,
we're missing a piece
he
of the puzzle.
He just cracked out of nowhere. And
you can't tell me that was all for revenge against Chris. Like there's no way.
Even back to when he was about to kill Peacemaker in the interrogation room.
I bought that.
Even seemed like more in character for him. He wasn't really gonna kill him, but okay, this is how he kind of gets some revenge, get that out of his system. And then my theory was eventually okay, there's gonna be some larger threat. I thought it was gonna be Earth X Keith coming over. And the two of them would have to team up because Chris knows what happened on the other Earth. Rick Flag Sr. does not. Okay, yes, Argus, we've been at odds the whole time, but now we need to combine our team, combine forces, and fight against this larger threat. Okay, cool. Peacemaker, you helped take down this threat. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I'm still going to be mad at you until the end of time because you killed my son. But because I was in charge of Argus for, X amount of time, I understand you were just following orders. I've done things in the past that I don't like or agree with because I was just following orders. Maybe it's time for us to, chart our own paths and make our own decisions. That would have been a perfect way to end it. Maybe a little bit too, too lighthearted, but I don't like the little rug pull ending either. I think the episode should have ended before that end scene. And I know we're kind of jumping far ahead, but fine. I actually really liked this episode. I think it culminated a lot of things very well. I loved how the music was intertwined because that's James Gunn's style. He tells a story through his song choices, which I love. I went and listened to this whole soundtrack, right after I finished the episode. And again, I love the character moments. I think James Gunn is a very strong character writer, very strong character director. He makes very dynamic character moment scenes that could just very easily be very straight static shots, but he, takes a lot of fun liberties with those things and makes it enjoyable. Like, I enjoyed an episode that had very little to no action whatsoever, just because I really do love and connect and enjoy these characters. I think it's very similar to, later seasons of Legends of Tomorrow, right? Like, season stories, stupid. They make no sense. They feel like they don't connect whatsoever. But the interpersonal character moments, the slower, relationships and things like that really stand out and make it a great project. And I think that this, again, is the classic example of the James Gunn insert in a way, right? Like, again, he talked about this a lot throughout the season, as this was very much so tied to personal situations, personal connections. Like, he loved how these relationships, played out, and he used these songs because he enjoys these songs and things like that, which is great. And I love it when a storyteller can just nerd out and be unapologetically who they are, but the story has to connect in some way as well. Especially when you're building up this new DC universe, especially when you're trying to have continuity between projects, when one of your main characters feels so inconsistent, not just within the show itself, but across the other projects that they've been a part of. When you take the last 5 minutes to set up something or set up multiple things that only like deep cut comic book fans are going to understand, and the rest of the general audience is going to be like, what the heck? Like, what's Checkmate? What is Salvation? Like, they're going to, 90% of people that watch this have no idea what that is. Like, nothing was set up, nothing was foreshadowed as far as any of that goes. And then he drops those bombs and is like, yep, that's the direction that the DCU is going. We might be doing New Gods. We might be doing, this, that, the other. Great. Awesome for us. That's really, really cool. But for the general audience that is just watching these connected projects, it feels like nothing is really connected, and it's all fairly not separate, but it doesn't. It's tough to connect those dots.
Let me go back to the start a little bit, just to like.
We went all over
just
the
to
let's take this back to the beginning.
We did
No.
get all over the place there.
No, that's completely okay. No, I just want to get the statement across, I think.
But I do love this show, though. I really did.
Yeah, sure.
I want to preface that I have tons of critiques, but I really did enjoy it, and I think I enjoyed it more than most people did, actually.
I love the finale. I did. I thought this was probably my favorite episode of the season. But it was a great finale to the wrong season, is how I feel.
Yeah.
This was like the perfect ending to a season 3, maybe, to a season that they were not setting up.
Maybe even a mid-season finale.
Maybe. I'm flabbergasted how, in my opinion, how badly they fumbled the Earth X stuff. I am like appalled with how much disrespect, with how much interesting, nuanced conversation is just left on the table, just sitting there. This is one of the most interesting stories I think that they can tell, and they don't do anything with it. There are so many elements that are set up, so many things that was in play. Just, okay, we have the Sons of Liberty, and we have this, alternate Hardcourt, and we have Rick Flag Jr., and we have all these elements, and everything with Augie, which is fascinating, and everything with Keith, and all these elements. And to like, you can't just be like, we'll do it someday. Don't you worry, guys. We'll be back. I'm sorry. I don't know if I can support these characters, as they know there is a Nazi world. People are in cages, and they are sitting there on our Earth being like, well, sucks for them. I don't know. And again, like, I understand that's not an easy story to tell. I know that's like, as from a character direction, it's like, okay, how do we actually do that? But then I'd say don't tell that story, especially in this day and age where a storyline like that is so important. And in my opinion, they still did not do a good enough job showing why the Nazi world is bad. Yeah. That is still a relatively good world. Obviously, it's bad. They're putting people in cages. We don't see that. And there's a whole group of people right now. They're
this world is no different than ours. It's like,
I was gonna say, Judo Master did have that one little throwaway line of like, yeah, it sucks here, but it's not so different from the world that we come from. In that,
that's
like,
not a.
Well, no, and again, but I don't
But it
think
is though. Like
but I don't think that was the point, right? Again, is the point was not to go to this other Earth and save this Earth that needs saving. Like, again, that's not who Peacemaker is. Like, it'd be one thing if that was, Superman went over there, cool, but the Peacemaker Squad, like, they're heroes now, but that, as bad as it sounds, that's not their job. Right? Their job was to go over there, get their friend back, and get the heck out of Dodge. Like, they did not need to involve themselves in another Earth's war. And to that same degree, do you think that they should have gone into, like, the, giant skull spider portal and, like, fought all of them, or gone into the, the imp world and fought all of them? Like, they, at that point, then you could, like, take it upon yourself to go try to liberate all of these Earths, and who's to say that you're doing the right thing? Like, why should you do that? In a very similar way to, like, Chris was in that world and he was like, oh, Sons of Liberty, they're the bad guys. Let me, take these guys out, just to realize, oh, wait, no, they're actually the good guys. So without the full context, yes, we do have the full context now for Earth X, but you can't really do that. Like, you shouldn't, I feel, involve yourself in the other Earth's affairs, because, like, like we've seen in other projects, is that has sometimes come back to bite them when you go back in time and get involved in something that you shouldn't, or hop to another Earth and get involved with something that you shouldn't.
But then pitch it as a tragedy.
Right.
That would be my big pitch. Pitch it as, oh, this is horrible and we can't do anything to do about it, and have that be the tone. Instead, there are people online, right now, being like, I wish I could go there, because that feels like a better world than what we have now. Like, that is the messaging that James Gunn has given people. Because outside of...
I'm like...
Okay, so I think maybe, like, one...
Insane.
Like, maybe one line where, like, maybe they sat there and were like, yeah, that's a crappy place. It's terrible. I wish we could do more about it, but we don't have the firepower to liberate an entire Earth. Like, just a simple throwaway line, like, to acknowledge how bad it is, but also, I guess, to the other context of, okay, is this a story that's going to come back at some point? If Earth X Keith comes back over to our Earth at some point, do we eventually re-tackle that story with a stronger team now?
I almost think it's going to be too late at that point for me. Like, I think it's too little too late. You can't introduce this huge story and be like, we'll get back to it eventually, especially if it's in a different show. And I'm sorry, like, I just don't think they showed how bad it was. Like, that world was basically just our world, but we just didn't see a certain amount of people, right? That world is should be fundamentally different. It is a different world if all marginalized people are just gone. They mention things like Spider-Man. You would not have Spider-Man. You would not know who Spider-Man is. The music, the culture, the way we talk, the way we speak, the way we build our home. It is fundamentally a different world, and I just don't think they did enough to show why this is a bad reality that we need to speak in. There's all things like, it's not that different from our world, and why, yes, it's getting bad, and things are changing, and things are morphing. It isn't our world. It isn't. It is a fundamental different hellscape, and if that was the case, our world would be way worse than what it is now. And I just wish they put just a little bit more effort. And I think it's just one of those things of, like, James Gunn kind of being in his own little world sometimes. And I sometimes wish there was a little bit of, like, hey, James Gunn, can we look at that real quick? Can we have some other people bouncing off ideas, especially a story as important as that one?
I will say, I think the reason that we didn't get that is because of the fact that they spent, practically 7 episodes, or 6, because it was the end of 6, hiding the fact of what this world really was, because it was all from Chris's perspective, right? So that was why we couldn't really get because I guarantee you there was, like, super horrifying stuff they could have shown you from that world. My problem with that, though, is that once we get the reveal, I thought, for sure, like, if you would have asked me after episode 6, I thought we were heading towards a finale where there was going to be a confrontation, like you said, Taz, between Keith and between Chris. Because Keith, quite clearly, is a Nazi in that world. That was established by the end of episode 6. So how you can convey that, and it intertwined with Chris's personal arc for the season, is have a confrontation with Keith, where, like you said, Keith follows them into their world, and there has to be a confrontation where, hey, this is my brother that I've always wanted, but this version of him is an evil, deplorable piece of shit who I have to take out to protect the people that I truly love in this universe.
Imagine an interesting moral dilemma, too, of like, okay, well, that's how his father was on this earth. What if his brother had survived and turned into this? Like, did Chris, by accidentally killing his brother as a kid, did he save himself and the rest of the world from having this version of Keith out there doing whatever he wants and, you know, being just a horrible human being? Like, it's a very difficult thought to have. Yeah. But I feel like even that could have been an interesting route to take, is okay, everything happens for a reason. As sad as it was that my brother died at such a young age, maybe that had to happen in order for me to turn out, number one, the way that I am, and to see the error of my father's way. Because if both his dad and his brother were like this on Prime Earth, maybe Peacemaker would have turned out a little bit closer to Earth X Peacemaker than Earth Prime Peacemaker.
And that, I think, would have been infinitely better than what they did with Earth X. And that's where I agree with you, Darren, is that, like, Earth X was the most interesting aspect of this season when it came to, like, an external threat.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They were just like, basically, once they realized it, they were like, all right, bye, guys, we got to leave this universe. And no resolution.
It's like, all right, we got to set up for the next project.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay.
This is all issues I had last week, but I couldn't say them yet because I didn't know how episode 8 was going to do with them. I said I have this problem, this, and this, but it all depends on how the season ended. But I wanted the season.
We said this after episode 6.
Set up for next season in either option A, Keith comes through a portal. It's literally CW's Crisis on Infinite, or Crisis on Earth X, where there's a Nazi world invading ours. Or 2, our team is like, we have to go save them. We have to go back and try and help them. And you know, like, you can still have the whole checkmate thing being established, being like, ah, shit, like, we're doing all this for our Earth, but there's a whole Earth out there that we still need that. You know, like, I wanted either one of those two things. And I do think them just being like, well, that's over, we're done with that, is so, like, yeah. And again, I've been so conflicted on this season because, like you said at the start, there is so much I love. And I think every episode is like this for me. Every single episode this season, almost every single episode this season, I've been split right in the middle of things that I love and things that just did not work for me. And I've been like, I don't know how to feel. I don't know. And to be fair, I kind of think that's Gun's MO. I feel like most of his projects are filled with things I adore and things I do not like. And it's something that maybe he'll work out eventually, or maybe that's just his style. Maybe he's a creator that I will never completely, and there's some occasions, I love Guardians 1, I love 2, I love Suicide Squad, but then I look at Creature Commandos, which me and Taz had many issues with. Yeah. I just watched Guardians 2 for the pipeline. That's an interesting movie. That movie has some of the best MCU moments and the worst MCU moments every couple seconds. And I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this movie. Which I guess is kind of a nice little transition to me just saying, like, I don't know if I'm in love with the DCU at this point. It's probably the most conflicted I've been about a cinematic universe over these last couple years of cinematic universes, because, like, Creatures is good sometimes. It's sometimes pretty awesome, and sometimes it's not. Superman I liked, but not as much as a lot of other people. There's things that don't work for me 100%. And then you go with Peacemaker, which is another, like, 50-50 for me. And I think it might be one of the most shaky startups to a cinematic universe I've seen personally, where it's like, okay, Iron Man is, like, great start, fantastic, branch into the MCU. Arrowverse starts with Arrow Season 1, Arrow Season 2, and The Flash Season 1. Brilliant start. Say what you want about Man of Steel. I don't love it, but it knows what it is. Like, it's very confident in what it is. Although then you go into Batman v Superman and stuff like that too, which just shakes it up. But like, I don't know. I just think it's been a very weird start for me personally.
Well, it's again, we discussed this again a couple weeks ago. It's James Gunn trying to balance his style of storytelling and his style of filmmaking with that of trying to start a new universe, right? Is he wants to still tell those smaller, self-contained, character-driven stories about the obscure C-D list characters that you wouldn't necessarily expect a project about, but then he also has the task of starting up this whole new universe. And again, I think he does a great job with both. I really did enjoy Superman.
Sure.
I really enjoyed his Suicide Squad. I enjoyed Peacemaker Season 1. I enjoyed aspects of Creatures. I enjoyed a lot of elements of this season of Peacemaker as well. But I feel like there's not enough of a solid, concrete direction. Like, I think this overall storyline now, in the direction that we're headed, it seems like, okay, Rick Flag Sr. is going to try to throw all the metahumans on Salvation. Something's going to happen to which I think maybe Lex is going to end up over there. Superman's going to end up over there. And we're going to have Lex and Superman forced to team up. Maybe instead of, this being the New Gods training ground, maybe somehow Brainiac ended up here. Yeah. Like maybe they're going to retcon it and this is where Brainiac is from. Instead of
what, Salvation, you mean?
Yeah. Like maybe they'll combine it, or like maybe he's been traveling throughout the multiverse and and he's found Salvation himself and he wants to bottle it up or something like that. But it's like maybe he's drawn because of the surge in like metahuman population or something like that. And then now it's up to Superman and Lex to get everybody out of this universe because Rick Flag Sr.'s gone off the deep end, but why has he gone off the deep end, right? Like, again, as I thought he was going to be our kind of, like, anchor figure, not necessarily like a Nick Fury, but, like, the connective tissue where some of our characters like him, some of our characters don't like him, we'll begrudgingly work with him when we have to, but is kind of our connection between the superhero and the government side of things. Is he's kind of like the liaison, but now he's all in on the anti-metahuman government Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Here's what I'll say that I think is kind of interesting. It's like James Gunn said that Man of Tomorrow will not focus on where Peacemaker's at. Like, it won't be like diving into that. What I think might be that loophole a little bit is like, he said it's going to set up lanterns. He said this Salvation storyline setting up lanterns. And then I actually kind of maybe like that potential idea. I heard someone on Twitter say it, so I'm totally just stealing their idea. But it's like lanterns is Jon Stewart and Hal investigating where all the metahumans are going. Like all these metahumans are going missing, and it's like we have to investigate, which is why it's an Earthbound story. And it's that like investigation, which then leads to Man of Tomorrow. Like maybe he's out of Salvation. Maybe Peacemaker is in Lanterns or something, which is the homework thing that James Gunn was talking about. I'm a little iffy on how that's going to go, right? Yeah. But like maybe he gets out of there via Lanterns, and then this all leads in, like that leads into your theory. Taz is like the Lanterns accidentally let Brainiac free from Salvation or something. Like he was stuck in that world. He gets in there, and then that's the Man of Tomorrow stuff. Because he did say Lanterns will set up the DCU. He said that is setting up the direction of this entire universe, which again is a bit concerning with what he said about homework and
everything is like, but everything has been set up though. Like everything, it's set up. Yeah. What's I think Supergirl though is the next project, right?
Lanterns.
No, Lanterns is coming out before Supergirl.
And then Supergirl after,
Yes,
okay.
Lanterns, Supergirl, Clayface. Yeah.
Okay.
Which someone
and then Man of Tomorrow.
Let me bring up this comment because I did want to bring this up next.
I did see the theory that Rick Flag Sr. is Clayface. That Clayface replaced him after Creature Commandos, but that wouldn't make sense because unless Clayface is being very method, why would he care about his son? You know what I mean?
Cameron brings it up. I mean, we have to wait on Supergirl, Lanterns, Clayface. 100%. This is something I brought up on Ronan's stream where I said, I love James Gunn. I desperately need a DCU project that isn't James Gunn. James Gunn is such a less is more director for me. I like his projects in moderation, and now we've had arguably 4 projects in the DCU kind of back to back with him, and I need to be like, cool, man, I like your stuff, but I need another tone. I need another vision quickly. Same goes for, like, I love Legends of Tomorrow, but if that's the only thing the Arrowverse had, I would have gone insane. I would not have liked it as much. I need the tone of, like, an Arrow and a Flash and a Supergirl to balance it out. I need different flavors, and it seems like we're going in the opposite direction. With, like, these are 3 seemingly kind of darker and more serious projects to contrast the 3 sillier ones we got this year. So it's going to be interesting.
I kind of want to piggyback off that too. Like,
yeah, of course.
It's pretty clear there's some fatigue going on with James Gunn right now. He did these 3 projects back to back. There's no way that you can be writing, directing episodes, directing a movie, running a studio, and not be fatigued and this catching up to him. So I am very interested to see what this universe looks like without him at the forefront, at least. Obviously, he still has to be kind of that, like, behind the scenes producer role. That's always what he's going to be at this point when it comes to DC, but I want to see what this universe can do without him at the helm. And I feel like he was so gung-ho on trying to get this universe off to a good start that he said, that he said, you know, he wanted to take control of these projects when I think, like, me personally, I did like the Superman movie, and I actually even loved portions of it.
Yeah.
I still don't think he was the right choice to be the first person to bring back Superman. I know why he wanted to do it, but I just think James Gunn is at his best when, especially in the comic book space, when he is with niche characters, like Taz said, C and D level characters that you could tell these super personal stories about. It didn't work all that well for me for Superman, and I'm honestly not even too happy with the fact that he's helming Man of Tomorrow, because I kind of just wanted him to start the universe and then give it to somebody else. But that's another conversation. But I'm very curious to see other projects where he's not writing, he's not directing, and see how those turn out. That will be the indication to me if the universe is going to be strong going forward or not.
Yeah, I do think the strength is going to be all of these different directors and creative minds and ideas helming their own individual thing. And, like, while not everything is working for me right now, I think there's also something very special about, like, okay, that didn't work for me, cool, but I can go over here and I can have lanterns. That's really my style. And, like, you know, I'll say the same thing that I'll say to, like, any other universe where it's like, this is stupid, I don't like this. Like, I don't watch. You know, like, if it's that bad, I can be like, I have all these other projects that are really my speed, or really my style, which, again, is I need to see the style of these other projects. If they are in line with what Peacemaker and stuff like that, it's like, I could possibly be out. Like, it could not be my cup of tea. But again, I don't think that's the case. I think that he is very passionate about letting every director and every visionary and every showrunner have their own thing. I also think I'm excited to see a proper showrunner, or like a proper TV people, like, because they have that for, like, Booster Gold, Lanterns, and Waller. Like, those are all TV
like
people that are helming them. James Gunn is not a TV guy, and I think that was one of the issues. The same issue that the MCU ran in for years. They make movies. They do not make TV shows. And this season of Peacemaker was formatted like a TV show. There was Act 1, there was Act 2, and then there was Act 3. And I think that's the issue, is all different acts are like different movies almost, or different
parts of the movie.
And it's like each part almost needed 8 episodes to themselves sometimes. And it's like, it's too much. It didn't quite work for me.
And I think this too, and I'll just keep saying it, he needs to stop talking. He keeps shooting. He keeps saying the dumbest things. Like, I know people are trying to backtrack now and be like, "Oh, well, he didn't say that there was going to be big cameos in episode 8." He literally repeated episode 6 to 8 are some of the best work I've done, and there are big surprises to come.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but Lex happened in episode 6. There's no way that's what he meant.
I think he was talking about the Foxy Shazam cameo. Come on.
Oh yeah.
He was. He was, and
which,
like,
are they named after Shazam in universe, or is Shazam named after them?
That's a great question.
I didn't know the band name at first, and I just saw that, like someone say, "Oh, it's Foxy Shazam," and I was like, I literally thought, just seeing that, I was like, Oh, there's a Shazam cameo in the episode, and he's a I don't know music. I'm not a music guy at all, so I did not know the name of the band. So when I was like, "There's a Shazam cameo," holy shit! Why are people complaining? No, okay, I get it.
No, but I will say I did love the music in this. Like I am I'm a rock fan. Like I think that his
Beautiful
music
scene.
for Peacemaker has been great.
Oh, yeah.
Again, I think that is one of the best elements of the Guardians films is the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's always been a strong point for him too. Even Suicide Squad had great
music.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's always been
yeah.
good at that. Yeah.
But
Again,
I think slight backtrack, right? Okay. To James Gunn saying like, oh, 6, 7, 8, those are like the best episodes, best work I've ever done. Again, I think it is that personal connection that he has with the characters, the story that he's telling, the musical guests that he was able to get, the music that he was able to license and use in said story. I think that is why. And two as well, just because you don't think that it is his best work, or just because we don't think that it ended as strongly, I think the fact that he is proud of his work and was like, oh, this most recent thing that I did is the best thing that I ever did. Don't you want to think that as well? Like, don't you want to end the stream and say, hey, I think this was the best stream we've ever done. Yeah. I'm going to do an even better stream next week. Or this most recent video that you posted. I'm so proud of this video. I think this is the best video that I've ever posted. Like, don't you want, like, isn't that what you strive to do in your own work? So I think that aspect of it is commendable. Do I think that this is James Gunn's best work? No. Is it my favorite James Gunn project? No. But do I enjoy it for what it is and respect the work and effort that went into it by him, by the cast, by the crew? 100%. 100%.
I think the problem, though, is that he is wanting to play producer over director and writer. So I think in these certain situations, he hypes it up a little too much. It's like, just bring it back a little bit. Be the director, writer that you normally are. Don't hype it up as much. Like, there was even discussions about those last episodes before the season was even out, how he was like, oh, I had to keep the last 3 episodes away from the critics. I couldn't show it to anyone.
I was going to say, there was nothing. There's nothing to spoil. Like, other than, like, there's literally
the
3.
There's
2 or 3 things this season. It's Earth X, Eagly, maybe, I guess, Spiritual Eagly.
Yeah.
Checkmate, and Sanctuary.
But even then,
Lex.
We called all of that. Like, literally. We called the Earth X thing week
no
1.
surprises. Yeah.
We said, like, Lex was a nice surprise, but like we
kind of thought about that. We kind of called that too after like episode 3 or 4 when we were like, okay, well, they're really investigating all these rifts and stuff. We reference back to Superman. Okay, this is how they reintroduce him.
Yeah.
The only cameo, I guess, that I would say I didn't know about or I didn't think about was the guy from season 1 that showed up in episode 7, the like police guy from the first.
Oh
season.
The Black Hood.
But like, I was like, oh my god, yeah. But no, and like, I think what you said, Taz, is like you are right, where it's like, if this is his favorite thing, if he thinks he saw it, and there's a lot of people who have loved this season, like they've loved it a lot more than me. I think it is a success. Maybe not for me in particular, but what I will say, to lean over on your thing a little bit, Alan, is like, this is the first time, at least in a long time, if not ever, where the CEO of a company is also the creative of said thing. We've never seen that before, not really, and it's such a blessing and a curse, I think, because he is so in deep. Because like you said, I think it's also easy to kind of drink your own Kool-Aid when you're surrounded by it so much, which is not always a bad thing. You need to feel confident, but like when you are in it and when everyone around you really loves it and supports it, sometimes you don't see the like larger picture, the larger fandom at large. He made a statement lately that I thought was very interesting, where he was talking about the whole Batman thing and what, about like how the casual audience is like, the casual audience always get it. It's the fans that don't. And it's like, I love you, James, but you are in your own inner circle. What? Like I was like, how many casual audiences are you actually listening to and talking to? How much of the actual fans are you like? Yes, he's on Twitter. Yes, he's seeing that kind of stuff, but how much of it is in your little bubble? which is not his fault. Like, that's very easy to do. It is. I'm not berating him for it, but like, it is easy to get trapped in your own bubble of positivity and stuff like that too. So
I had so many family members when the Flash, when the Flash was still being introduced, asking me, how is Michael Keaton in this movie with Ben Affleck's Batman? Yes. How is that possible?
They don't get it. Yeah,
they don't get it. I don't know how he could possibly think that.
Here's the thing. I do think too is, as the co-studio head of DC now, and as a big writer-director for a lot of the projects, I think maybe his inner circle is not giving him the critique and the feedback that maybe they once were. Like, say again, is if he was not part of the leadership there, maybe he would have gotten a lot more notes from people.
Right.
There's no one because he's in charge of it, he's allowed to go full on, beautiful mind James Gunn on all of this, right? Like, nobody's telling him, okay, hold on, maybe we dial it back a little bit. Yeah. Maybe don't use this song here, or maybe, don't set this thing up here, or, okay, continuity-wise, would Rick Flag Sr. really act this way there? Like, should we really be, wasting all of this time in the season where we don't necessarily know where we are and save it for a big reveal? Do you think the audience is really going to care about that, or are they going to catch on to it super, super early? Like, I think he needs almost like a fan liaison in a way, right? Is like somebody to like, right? Is like so how like with the Disney Plus Marvel, like they have like their show Bibles and things like that now, right? Is like, all right, you got to stick to these certain things. Like, if he had somebody to just reality check him on certain things, like, okay, people care about this, people don't care about this. This is a great idea. This is a horrible idea. This is all right, do it at your own risk kind of idea. I think something like that to maybe streamline the process and make sure that he is not thinking whatever he's doing is going to be the best, and just having somebody, bring him back down to earth in a way. Yeah, exactly. So, and again, not to say that he's had bad ideas, but just so that we stay consistent.
Which is why I stand by that. I think James Gunn is at his best when he's restricted a little bit. Guardians 1 is still one of the best things he's done. He was new at Marvel. You had that power dynamic of Kevin Feige and James Gunn together in that kind of peak era. You had it again in the Guardians 3 when he was back at them. He was kind of not as
free
popular.
To do what he wants.
Yeah, he was like, okay, I'm just back for this one. I need to not go as insane. And then you've seen Guardians 2, where I assume they were like, do what you want. Guardians 1 was a huge hit. People love it. You do whatever the heck you want. And he went nuts. He went insane. And I think he felt that with Peacemaker as well, because I think he held back a little bit in Superman because this is his first thing for the studio.
And he held back a little bit in Peacemaker. And he played a little bit safe in the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker Season 1 as well. But then, everything after that was just,
Well, to me, even in Superman, I feel like there was so many plot lines going on in that film. That was my problem. I felt like there was too much.
Yes.
Yes. And I know it wasn't like the super over-the-top James Gunn style that we're normally used to, but I think from a story perspective, he was trying to do a lot.
It's so what I was going to say, though, it's kind of funny, though, right? Is from Superman, I almost can feel it as in, like, James Gunn is trying not to be too much like himself. Right, like he was trying. He's like, okay, I recognize, like I do so much. Like I have signature things. Like I'm not gonna make this, revolve around the songs. I'm not gonna, have as many, stupid like quippy jokes and that sort of thing. Like he'll sprinkle some of that in there, but he's trying to make it feel like a different project. But then when he gets back to Peacemaker, he is 110% himself. Like I think maybe my biggest issue with this season, outside of some of the story stuff, had to be the over-reliance on these just like very vulgar jokes. Like not like
I agree.
that I have a problem with them, but I just think that maybe the overuse of them, right? Is like it's funny once, twice, 3 times, but when it just like it's so shoved in your face. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like Doom Patrol, was I thought it was like, I have the opportunity to be like a very mature show, so I'm just gonna drop every F-bomb I can,
edgy,
just do all exactly. And I don't like that. I like when it feels more natural. Like in a lot of ways, I thought the humor in season 1 felt more natural than the humor in season 2.
Absolutely.
It felt very forced.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody who thinks that their own jokes are super funny, but they don't know their audience, and their audience is like, okay, that's I don't know about that one, Chief. Like, I think that's kind of how it was. And not to say that you have to conform to that. I am the king of telling jokes that only I get in certain scenarios because I think that it's funny, and sometimes I think that is the most funny thing, is when you tell a joke, you crack yourself up, and everybody else is like, huh?
Yeah.
But that on a large scale here.
And I also think it's about placement too. Like, I did not find the quiz me on animal facts bit the whole season funny. I was like,
no.
I was like,
they're placing
this
it,
again.
the way they're doing it. I actually liked it in episode 8 because I thought it was placed in a spot that fit better for the tone.
With bird blindness,
it was. I thought fit better. I was like, oh, that's actually really funny. And these two actors, how they banter back and forth, it's actually kind of funny. But it wasn't interrupting a scene. Every time they had done it previously, it was during a scene that messed up that tone and messed up that flow. So again, I think that's another big thing for James Gunn. Don't mess up the flow of your story. There's that big scene in season 1. That's my biggest problem with the whole season, where Chris kills his dad. He just murders his dad, and a very good scene, very emotional. And then Vigilante comes in and is like, "What's that on your face? What are you doing?" It's like, you just ruined the best scene in the show with your own bit. There's a time and there's a place to do these, and I sometimes don't think he. And again, if that's his thing, and that's what he wants to do with it, fair enough. Who am I to say it's wrong? It's your thing, right? But
the bird
for me
blindness
personally,
joke is a prime example of that, where it just keeps
too
going
much.
and keeps going, and I'm like,
yes.
Pull it back, man. Come
it's
on.
funny the first time, and then it's like, okay, by time 3, I'm like, I'm done. You lost me. And also, again, it's the placement of it. If it was placed in a different spot and done with some, because I didn't like Tim Meadows' character for most of the season.
I didn't.
And then
either.
once they, episode 5, something happened for me. I was like, oh, you grounded him a little bit. You gave him some sincerity.
You pulled it back,
Once you did that, I loved him. I was like, oh, this is great. This is you gave him some reality. So Gunn can do it.
Especially in the finale, too. I think he was great in that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was, I liked him. I was actually kind of happy he joined their little group. Again, that montage when they're building checkmate and they're doing that. I'm like, I love this. This is incredible. I love it. And again, I'm super down for a checkmate show. We kind of pitched this episode, was it 2 or 3 tabs? We're like, okay, clearly we're building to creating a team. I did not expect to have everyone involved. I did not expect there to be Bardot and Meadows' character and Judo Master, which we talked about last week as well. Judo Master joining a group as well. That was fun. I don't know.
I think just in general with the creative, what he's saying in public, he just needs to just pull it back a little bit. Just calm down. Don't overdo it. Pull it back, because I feel like some of the I usually am on the side of the creative, where I feel like sometimes fan expectations get way out there and get too crazy, and we're overhyping ourselves. But in this case, I'm like, it's kind of justified because of the way he talked about it and how he overshared about it, and he hyped things up.
That Blue Beetle comment is just a straight up lie, where he's like,
that's what
I'm not going to say he's not in it.
Yeah, it's like, dude,
what do you?
I was going to say that's not necessarily a lie.
But you're
it's a lie of omission.
Doing.
Yes, you know what you're doing.
What you're doing.
He did not. He could have said that. He could have said that about I'm not going to say Batman's not in it. I'm not going to say he's in it either. But
it's and you know what? I did see him try to fix it the episode before the penultimate, where he's like, our show isn't about cameos, it's about this, but it was too late at that point.
You said it for 7 episodes straight. You can't just bring it back after episode 8.
It felt like he was trying to throw people off the scent a little bit, being like, oh, it's not about cameos. It's like, oh, but Batman shows up or some shit.
But I will say though, I did like the fact that James stuck to his guns more so than falling into the trap of turning the finale into a cameo fest. I think as many issues as we have with this finale, once again, it is unapologetically a James Gunn project. And I think for that specifically, you have to commend him for that. We might not have agreed with all the decisions, but again, I think at the end of the day, what matters is that the creative got to be creative, you know?
I agree.
I think there just should have been an external threat. Like, everything was inner turmoil. There needed to be something. And again, I'm not one who's like, there needs to be a big fight.
There has to be, though.
There doesn't, but there had, I feel like that was the part that was missing, is there was nothing to kind of like push this forward and to make it felt like out of it.
It felt like we ended at the rising action, right?
Yeah,
is that we were building, and then we just leveled off instead of actually having the conflict, the resolution, that sort of thing. And like they tried to do that by having the big little stinger at the end, but
that was a post-credit scene to me. That's like the effect it had. It wasn't even really
it was not really part of the episode. But and then again, it kind of rug pulled all of that. Like I still think that it would have been a much better ending if it just ended. All right, we're checkmate. We're gonna go do good things now.
I agree.
But the fact that Chris just got completely ripped from his friends again after just reuniting with everybody, and now we're not gonna know what happens for like a year.
Yeah,
a year plus,
maybe even longer.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe even longer.
Yeah,
because didn't he say that Peacemaker is not even really going to be involved in Man of Tomorrow? So we don't even know when really.
They said they're not going
to
resolve where he's at in Man of Tomorrow, which again makes me wonder if that's like a twist on the
is
word.
Something right? Is it's going to get resolved in Lanterns, or it's going to be resolved in Supergirl, or something like that? Yeah,
I could see that being. I hope it's not Supergirl. I do not want.
It's funny. I don't want it to be. I don't want it though to be the next project. Like I feel like that then that's too quick. Like they could very easily just like all right, let's reverse it again. Like
it's Clayface. No.
I mean, it could be
September next year.
Okay. It could be though if they're going down the route of Clayface is Rick Flag Sr.
That would be disappointing.
Yeah, I don't want.
But it would definitely explain him acting out of character. It would explain him acting out of character, and people are like, oh, it'll explain the fact that his hair is different, and.
No, yeah, I'm kind of already over Rick Flag at this point. Like I think especially with how they ended it, it's like
he's the through line, which is so weird. Like I never would have
villain.
He's literally just Crossbones again.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He can fight a little better though in this universe.
Yeah.
Send me the link, Jeffrey, and I'll pull it up. Do we have any? There's a couple of things I want to mention after we're done with Peacemaker. So, is there any final thoughts on this finale, Peacemaker as a show? Potentially, again, this could be it. This could be our final time talking about the Peacemaker show. Yeah. We're not done with the characters. Again, I think in a couple years. Actually, James Gunn has been pitching like, "Oh, there's a secret TV show I'm working on. I'm putting together." I would not be shocked if that's Checkpoint.
I would honestly gather to say that Peacemaker season 3 and the Waller show get folded into one series, which becomes Checkmate.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because there was comments about Waller recently being like, "Yeah, we just can't get it right. Like we're really struggling to get the script together."
Mm-hmm.
Blah blah blah. Which then I'd say, well, you shouldn't have announced it during the video all the way back in 22 if you weren't ready to. But I think that's a Warner Brothers shit. I think that they were I think David was announced all these stuff to get people excited, and
I wonder how much this is going to affect Creature Commandos season 2.
That's another one where
and I wonder, imagine this is something that's resolved in Creature Commandos because
Rick
Flag Sr. was such a big part of the Creature Commandos series.
And imagine Robot.
Yes, and here's the thing too: is you could do it for a lot cheaper by putting it in animation, right? Is you could, show a lot of stuff that would be very difficult to do in live action, save some budget. It's probably cheaper to hire John Cena as a voice actor than it is to hire him as an actor.
But that comes back to the homework thing, though.
Yep, yeah.
Are they going to have any of these live action projects really get resolved on a show like Creature Commandos?
But that's the best way to drive viewership to something like that, though.
It is
make it. Again, everything is connected. and the homework argument is so interesting because again, I keep going back and forth on this. Right? Is it homework or is it just the next piece of the puzzle? Right? It is like we have. I would say it's homework if there are so many like spin-off shows that like give you like little things, but if we're telling that story in order and it's just the next project to come out in that viewing order, then it's not, then I wouldn't necessarily consider it homework. Like you should watch Iron Man 1 and 2, Thor, Captain America before you watch the Avengers. Would you say that all the other movies are homework to have you understand it, or are you just watching things in sequence?
Yeah. All right. They wanted to bring this up, which I think is fair. It said, have you seen the criticism of the show in the final episode? James Gunn said, definitely not everyone can love everything. I love the episode, but I understand not everyone does, which is completely fair, which is, I think, a pretty good response to that. Then someone said, why did you lie about Blue Beetle being there? We miss Jaime Reyes. He said, I never said Blue Beetle was going to be there. I said people might be in luck who want to see Blue Beetle. Like, what manipulation?
He's now just rephrasing it. Yeah.
No, but the guy asked about Peacemaker, so it's like see, this is what I mean. When he says stuff, I'm like, dude, just stop talking. Please, just don't. Stop responding. Yeah. I know he wants to be transparent.
Less is more. Less is more.
Less is more. Like, just, you never see Kevin Feige responding to people like this in comments.
No, like, no, not at all.
It's it's a positive and it's a negative to him because it does make me like more invested in this universe.
Right, it's more personal. It's more personal, right? It's like, oh, cool. I could like ask James Gunn a question on Twitter or on Threads and get a response from the co-studio head of DC.
Yeah,
like I think if you sent it at the right time and on the right day, you could get James Gunn on the podcast. Really, like that. I think it is way more likely to get James Gunn on the pod. I think it's more likely to get James Gunn on this podcast than it would be to get John Cena on this podcast. Not even joking.
I agree. Yeah.
Not
Gunn
even joking.
No, Gunn does podcasts all the time. Like I saw he did a podcast the other day. Had like 2K subs. I was like, what the hell? How did they manage that?
Yeah.
What did they?
Yeah.
But I love that.
Okay,
that'd be crazy.
New Year's resolution, guys. We get James Gunn on the podcast, and we just get to ask him everything about
this
DC.
Stream is gone. I'm privating every shitty thing we've said about him. No, there's also this Creature Commando season 2 will connect to the Salvation storyline too. Oh, it's in there.
Yeah, I buy that more.
It's being written now, and they've got a couple of again, like I pitched this last week, I'm pretty sure, where I said like I kind of, outside of the homework thing where he keeps harping on about, I do kind of love the idea of it being this crossover kind of event where it's Team Peacemaker and Team Creature Commandos teaming up together, going to Earth X and taking it. Like, that sounds awesome to me. That sounds really, really cool, where it's just like Peacemaker, King Shark, the Bride, GI Robot, all this shit, just like causing mayhem. That sounds cool. That sounds kind of awesome. I would really be down for that. But then it's the homework thing, being like, wait, I have to watch Peacemaker to understand creatures, but then now for Peacemaker, Checkpoint, now I have to watch Creature Commandos and Peacemaker and Suicide. It's kind of a big... It's a big thing right now, and it's, again, like, at this point, you can't avoid it. Like, you cannot avoid the homework thing. He's tried, and I think he will do better than a lot of the others about it. I think he's going to do his best to fit it in narratively, but there are just going to be things that are unavoidable. This is one of the downfalls of a cinematic universe. You cannot have you cannot do a cinematic universe.
That's what you get when you get a cinematic universe, right? Yes. Like, that's literally the name of the game. Is everything is connected.
It's connected, yeah. And I will say too, though, he made the comment before Peacemaker started about how, like, oh, I'm putting Superman on HBO Max early so that everyone can watch it because it's essential. And then you watch it and you're like, it's not really that essential.
No.
Like,
in a way, it's almost more. It's kind of more confusing because again, Rick Flag Sr. is not the same person. Yeah. He's not the same character.
Yeah.
Again, it just keeps going. I know I keep repeating myself. Like,
no, you're good.
Pull it back. stop
Yeah.
talking so much. Like,
Yeah.
But calm down.
For the record, James Gunn, we love you. We love you on the podcast.
Yeah,
please come talk to us about it, and I'll pitch you my ideas for my Red Hood movie.
No, for sure. No, there's a couple like New York Comic Con things I want to bring up before we leave here.
Yeah.
Taz, there was. Hold on, let me set things up here really quickly. There was a teaser for a show that we really like.
Yeah.
Do you know what that teaser was for?
I don't know. Was it in?
Woo! I miss doing that.
Yeah,
I miss doing
that
it.
was great.
Roll the title card.
I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, I know what they're doing here.
Every week we would mess that shit up. We'd be a couple early or too late.
Yeah.
Or
well, no, as I remember, the one time that we both tried to hit the button at the same time
and canceled each other out. We're like, damn it.
Yeah.
You're just sitting there like,
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like me or you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to play the trailer on here. There wasn't enough, I guess, to really, really dive into in terms of a trailer.
Was it really even a trailer, though? It was kind
of
it's a little teaser, and I loved how, and I loved how self-aware it was. Yeah. We got the reveal of who's voicing Thrag, which is nice. I think the actor, the voice sounds great. I heard, him come out on stage and everything like that.
That's cool.
He was Ronan from the first Guardians.
Yeah.
Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah, so I think that, as always, Invincible... as always, Invincible never misses with casting. Yeah. Like, I think that is something that you never have to worry about. I think great casting all the way around. I loved how self-aware that teaser was with Adam Eve being like, oh, maybe you'll finally win a fight this year.
Yeah.
That's great. I love the William meme reference where
get your where's season 5 William memes ready.
Yeah.
Great. I love how self-aware they are. I like how in depth they are. And we have a March date, which was earlier than we thought.
Yes. Yeah.
Isn't that when they started last year?
That's pretty soon. I think they started. Was it? I think it was February. I believe.
Great timing.
I know it was earlier in the year. Yeah.
We are. It seems like all the studios are, and this is what they're saying. They could obviously fail, but it seems like they are all being like, "We know you want yearly TV shows back.
Yeah.
We are trying."
Yeah, Invincible came out in February last year,
and I like,
or this year, I guess.
Say what you want, but it seems like they're trying. Like next year, it feels like we're getting the return of that. Like we'll talk about a couple of these in a second, but like Invincible's coming back after a year. Daredevil Born Again is coming back after a year, which is being paired with Invincible. That's going to be a fun lineup of Invincible.
Oh yeah, dude,
Born Again. We're gonna be here for like 3 hours. It's gonna be insane each week. And like Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's coming back after just a year. Like they are. It seems like they're trying. They are trying their darndest. And it feels like over these next couple of years, at least in the animation world over at Marvel, it's like, okay, we're trying our best to get Spider-Man and X-Men out every single year going forward. I'm going to, like, that's exciting to me. That is going to, I think, bring back that feeling that we would have to have with our Arrowverse shows a lot, where it's like this time of year, every year we can expect blank. Now, there was a lot of Marvel things that came out the other day. We're not going over all of them. But the main meats and potatoes were kind of dates and seasons, I guess, for a lot of them, where a lot of these are coming out, and I'll pull these up, and that can kind of lend ourselves to talking about
a leaked trailer.
A couple leaked trailers. We had a couple.
Do you know who? Did you see who leaked the Daredevil trailer?
Who was it?
It was Kristen Ritter. Like,
posted
that's right. On her story. Yeah.
Which is so Jessica Jones coded of her.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Like I almost wonder if it was on purpose. They're like, hey, just like
they're like, hey, just
I think. By the way, I think that means again she might have 2 big projects next year: is Daredevil, and then if she comes back for Resurrection season 2.
And I would not be. I'm gonna call it now. She gets a special presentation like Punisher. I could see.
Yeah.
As we slowly introduce these like Defenders, maybe they're not like.
Or we get a Defenders special presentation.
Sure. I mean, how cool would that be if you were like, okay, we brought back Daredevil. Now Punisher has a special. Jessica Jones has her special. Maybe do a Power Man and Iron Fist special, and then they end that with like guess what's coming back? Defender season 2, or like Defenders New Age, or whatever. It's all of them coming together. Like that would be really awesome. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Let's go over a couple of these just really quickly. Wonder Man, a lot of stuff came out for Wonder Man over the last couple days. We had 2 trailers. We had a teaser trailer and an official
and then a
trailer.
full trailer.
How do you guys feel about that?
I actually like it. I think it reminds me in a lot of ways of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, kind of, right? So it's a self-aware superhero project, almost poking fun at and diving deep into the real world as far as like how superhero movies are perceived. I don't necessarily know how it's going to tie in as far as like the actual superhero elements go.
Yeah,
but just on the surface of it, looking at it as a project like that, I think that's such an interesting idea. Very meta for a superhero project to explore the possibility of superhero fatigue. That's kind of cool. I do too. Yeah.
That trailer did not sell me right off the bat. Like I get what they're going for. I get what they're trying to do. But I don't think they gave us enough information for that teaser trailer. I think more people are turned off of it than onto it, being like, well, I don't even know what that was. And like,
yeah, I think people are confused.
They needed to explain
as, like,
it. And
what it's
even
about.
Me, who loves this stuff and knows what the show is about, I'm like, what? Like, why are they?
Yeah.
They needed a better trailer.
Yeah.
They needed to show the gimmick in the trailer. And like, if you don't know, if you take off that Marvel logo, that's like an Apple TV show. Right, it looks like a looks like a studio or something.
Yeah, I was just say someone said that in the comments.
Yeah,
reminds me of the studio. I was like, yeah, I felt the same way.
I am a little concerned that it is Disney making this though. Like, I do feel like maybe it might come across a little hypocritical, or maybe it's like its messaging and its narrative won't hit as hard, or maybe they won't go as far as they could because it's like, oh, we're making fun of ourselves. Like they can't do the studio, because they would be roasting themselves to a point that it would drive people away. You know what I mean? So like that concerns me a little bit. I don't think they will go as far as it could, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll just be a complete roast session of their own studio and the superhero industry and stuff like that. But it was pushed back a month, so we are officially done with Marvel in 2025, which I'm okay with for the most part. Like, this gets them away from Stranger Things, Percy Jackson, which is also Disney Plus, and Fallout, which I'm excited to cover that on the show as well. My only complaint is that it's a binge drop. They're dropping all 8 episodes at once.
They are.
I
didn't realize that.
Yeah.
That came out this week. Maybe it's for the best. They are 30-minute episodes, but that's like, hey, here's 4 hours of content at once.
They're echoing it again, dropping it at the beginning of the year all at once. They're sending this show out to die too, unfortunately.
I think it's very obvious that anything that came from the era, or started production at least in the era of when they were just like spitting these shows out consistently, is now just like, okay, we want to drop this stuff and just get over it and move on to what we really want to focus on. And just forget about these shows, which is sad, because I don't think everything that came out from there was terrible. But
I wish they at least did a Spider-Man, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which was like 4 weeks of like double up. Like, I think like 4 weeks of 2 episodes a week would at least be better. But maybe this will come out and I'll be like, oh, this model works better on binge, which is rarely the case. But maybe since these are like 30-minute comedies, maybe it will. Like maybe it does translate well, and I can sit here being like, oh, I was wrong. This worked better all at once. I rarely feel like that, but maybe this one will change. I don't know. We'll see. And then we have Daredevil Born Again, which is March, which we already knew that March date for a couple of months now, but it's nice to have official confirmation because it could have moved or could have went back and forth. Season 2, I saw some footage because I can't contain myself, and I'm desperate for content. Looks good for what we saw. Obviously can't show the footage here for obvious reasons, but we all excited for Daredevil Born Again Season 2?
Oh, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think non-free show 50-50 season of a show with Daredevil sounds incredible.
I'm glad for it to actually be the show that it is supposed to be. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun covering Season 1, but I'm so glad that it's like this is it. Like, this is the true show.
This is Daredevil Born Again again.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we were talking about with like Gen V earlier, Alan, where it's like, this show is a problem, or it's kind of messy, but there's a reason why it's messy, so I can't blame it too crazy much. But now it's the real thing, and now I can fully criticize it when it messes up.
Yeah. Is the Punisher special coming out before season 2 of Daredevil?
No word. It could be before, it could be after.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I'd like that.
I would be surprised if it doesn't drop before.
I
would
think
be
the plan is going to be for it to be before. I would
maybe like
hope
February
so,
or something.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's going to tie in some way.
Well, it doesn't. It wouldn't make sense if it came out after if Punisher is supposed to be a big part of Born Again season 2.
Yeah.
When the last time we saw him,
where he was left.
Locked. Yeah.
I'd like it to be before. They've also said this sets up Spider-Man 4, which makes sense. He's in Spider-Man 4. So it's like, what's in there? What are they setting up?
Did you guys see the video where they were talking to Charlie Cox? I think it was Brandon Davis. And he was like, oh, yeah, and you were in the Spider-Man trailer earlier. And he's just like, Charlie's like, what? And then he was like, oh, yeah, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. He was like, oh, yeah, I didn't even know I was in that. I'm like, did he just give away that he's in Brand New Day? And
like what?
You could have been nervous. He was like, am I AI in the Spider-Man trailer?
Probably.
Oh
well, I'm like,
God.
I could just toss that up to them. You know, they don't know what they can or cannot say half the
Well,
time.
I mean, here's the thing. They don't know. Well, they don't even know what they're in half the time anymore. Like, remember that? Did you guys see that clip of Elizabeth Olsen talking about, like, oh, yeah, I forgot that I was in Marvel Zombies.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot that
so
thing even
ago,
existed. Yeah. It's like they
Yeah.
do so much. Is like, it's hard to keep track. And as an actor, I'm sure you're just like, okay, project after project after project. Like, yeah, I'm playing this character, but, like, what even am I in?
Yeah.
There's again, like, controversies aside, I know it's been a while, there's a really funny Jonathan Major clip. Is one of like the D23s or Comic-Cons where they unveil Kang Dynasty, and they talk to him like after the thing, and he's like, yeah, we're so excited for like Kang Dynasty. He's like, what? You know, like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like, no, they just showed it. It's like, oh, okay. And like, he's afraid to say anything. He's like, did they or do you see
because Kevin
Kevin
Feige is gonna like, you know, dome you with a sniper shot across the map if you say one little thing that you're not supposed to say.
God. Yeah.
Even Mark Ruffalo made a comment recently where he's like, yeah, they just didn't put me in the movie because they didn't want me spoiling the ending again. I was like,
good. Like, he's keeping quiet about like Spider-Man, and it's like, well, that's another thing that's almost even more funny is when we know they have officially stated they're in stuff. The like Foggy actor like recently came out and said, I am not in Daredevil season 2. And it's like, dog,
yes, you are, dude.
They announced it like months ago.
That makes me think he's alive. That bit right there,
yes.
like, why would he try and hide it so much if that to me, I was like, oh, he's alive again. That's awesome. Yeah. It's cool. Okay.
Foggy Born Again.
Yeah.
That's going to be the bit. Like, until he comes back in our Daredevil episodes we did every week, I'm like, no, this is setting up Foggy coming back in the final episode.
Yeah,
we
did say that.
Bored, being like, no, this happens, so he's here, he's here, he's gonna come back here. I was convinced he was in that final episode. I was, but okay. X-Men 97 season 2 will officially be in the summer. I was hoping it'd be the spring like it was last year, but you know what? Summer's not too bad. They obviously want Daredevil to be that spring show. And then it'll probably go right into X-Men. It seems like it'll be another 2025 where there's kind of a show every month or like every other month. So we will be busy. This is exciting. Taz, you have not watched the show yet. Alan, are you an X-Men fan at all?
I am, but I have not seen the first season of X-Men 97, and I also have not seen the first season of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Wow. Okay.
So I obviously have some homework to do before summer of 2026.
I could not recommend X-Men 97 more.
I have been told by everyone from Console that...
And that is recently biased, and that is like... Season 2 could like drop the ball, be like, well, get that out of there. It's not, but right now, based on the first season, it's one of my favorite seasons of comic book TV I've ever seen.
Trust me, I got so many other things to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, my list is crazy.
Finishing these off, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man season 2, that's fall. Wow, it's like, oh, that's so far away. There's so much stuff in between there. This is fine. I actually think Spider-Man as a fall show actually kind of fits the vibes a lot. I'm actually kind of happy about that. There are some things that come out of this as well. They announced Venom is going to be in the season. which is exciting. There's been a lot of controversy actually around this. People being like, who is going to be Venom? Who are they going to choose?
Did they even confirm anything?
For what?
Of who Venom is going to be? Because I've seen people automatically just assuming that it's not going to be Eddie Brock. I'm like, you guys don't even know.
There be nothing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be someone who's never been Venom before, though, because like this show has been. Go ahead.
It has.
Oh well, no. Well, actually, no. I'm not going to say who I think it's going to be because that might be a spoiler from.
I was going to say
the
it's
original.
the person they tease at the end of the season is who I think it's going to be.
Okay. I gotta watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a thing that happens at the end where I'm like, I think that would make an interesting Venom. But honestly, there's also like, we have a Scorpion. Scorpion could be Scorpion. There's a character they're bringing in next season. We're like, that could be an interesting one as well. Like there's a lot of options they could go with. This is, I guess, a spoiler, but like, I don't know. I've heard people like, what if it's Norman? Like, what if Norman's Venom? That would be interesting. Or there's always the Harry. Like, there's a lot of options on who it could be.
Well, they just did Harry in the game.
They did.
In the Insomniacs game too. So
yes.
Yeah.
And then rounding it out is Vision Quest. Now there is no official time of year, but the rumor is it's going to be another fall lineup, which I'll be interesting to see when. If it's like either, if like Friendly Neighborhoods maybe like September, and then maybe this is like October or something, or like November. I don't know.
I have a sneaking suspicion Vision Quest is going to get pushed back to 2027.
You think so?
Yeah.
I could see it depending on what's in there, right? Yeah. I guess it depends if they need that out before Avengers Doomsday, right? Is there anything in there? Like, obviously none of those characters have been announced, but I think Vision Quest is going to be huge for the Young Avengers. And I guess my thing is, are there any of those characters in this? They recently officially cast our Tommy Maximoff for the show, so he'll be appearing. So I think I would not be shocked at the end of the show we get the forming of the Young Avengers, or at least have a huge tease of them coming together.
And I like how they've kind of advertised this too as the end of the trilogy that started with WandaVision.
End of the trilogy.
I was about to say that, yeah.
So in a weird way, as much as I am very much so excited for Born Again Season 2, I think Vision Quest might be my most anticipated on this roster, this lineup, especially James Spader coming back as Ultron.
Yeah.
The wrap up of this whole story, which means that we'll probably be getting Scarlet Witch coming back. Probably Billy and Tommy. And then, like you said, set up for Young Avengers. The continuation of the White Vision story. Like, I think that there's a lot of fun stuff to have in here. I also really hope that they pull elements from that Vision comic book that I know we were all kind of talking about around the time of WandaVision, where he had the whole like android family and stuff like that. I think that was a really interesting comic run, and it would be cool to see if they do something with that. But I think this has a lot of potential.
And just based on what we heard, like, it seems like it's going to be another kind of Mindscape alternate reality show similar to WandaVision. Apparently it's all in his head. Like, this is a world. And that's where we're getting all these various AIs, because he's, like, connecting through them, through his mainframe or whatever. We're bringing on all the various things. That's why they're all humanoid and stuff like that.
So, like, then that makes sense of, again, Vision, like, creating his own family in his head, modeling it after. So he's going to basically do what Wanda did, but just in his head.
Differently. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm mainly excited for getting Jarvis back from Agent Carter. Like, anytime I get Agent Carter crumbs, I am very excited. It's so weird that they haven't considered it canon yet, where it's like, guys, come on, like you have him in the MCU actively
in the Endgame, yeah.
But like, you can't confirm Agent Carter's canon without announcing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is also canon. It's like, oh, come on, guys. Which they had an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Panel this weekend as well. Part of me was hoping, like, oh, maybe they could tease something or announce something. They mainly just talked about Daredevil. Like, half that panel was them being like, we love what they're doing with Daredevil Born Again. They're doing great. I'm glad that's back. And them also kind of like, I don't know, kind of throwing shade at a lot of the MCU as a whole and just being like, yeah, well, we did that first. Like, we did this and we did this and blah, blah, blah. And like, kind of like, screw the people who say we're not canon, because we are. Like, a lot of that stuff, which was very nice, which I love it.
I love it.
one of my favorite shows of all time. It's brilliant. So, and like some people were like, "Oh, that's not cool for them to say," but they were right in everything they were saying. Like, it was all, they were spitting facts every step of the way. Like, it might hurt people, but yeah, they did all these storylines better than the MCU did. So,
and then I don't know. Real quick on the Vision Quest.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if I read this right or if this is actually true. Did they say that James Spader is going to play Ultron as like a human version too?
Yes, I think they're all human. Like, I think all these AIs are going to look human.
Going to be human. Okay.
Not saying they can also, like, I bet there's probably a sequence where, like, he's the full.
Oh, he's going to be Ultron.
Yeah. Like, I think you need to see that once, or people are going to be kind of pissed. They're going to be like, well, what the hell, man? That's what I came here for. Although I do hope the show ends with him escaping, like the Mindscape or something. Like, I want, like, unless you wait until after Secret Wars, I want Ultron back. I want another big project with Ultron in the MCU.
I will never forgive them for making a movie called Age of Ultron that lasted 2.5 hours.
Yeah. 2.5 hours of Ultron.
Of Ultron. And that was it. And then he was gone. Yeah.
Here's a great pitch. Great villain for, like, the Young Avengers project. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Like, especially with this seemingly setting all of that up. The Tommy and stuff. What a great first villain for them to fight. Then
the next Avengers animated series or animated movie where they fought Ultron.
Yeah.
That would be insanely cool. I would adore that. That'd be great.
He was such an underrated villain too. His performance felt amazing.
James Spader, dude,
he's incredible.
So good. He's incredible. So good.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that being said, I do think that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thanks to everyone who popped in, who's been chatting, who's been having a blast with us. Let's go down the line. Alan, what you're working on? Where can we find you? Anything you want to shout out, promo, all that jazz?
Yeah, so you can find me AG Reviews on both YouTube, TikTok, and X, even though it's Twitter. Yeah, I'm doing now a weekly show, live show, Scene and Screen podcast every Tuesday at either 8:30 or 9, kind of depending on schedules and stuff like that. I'm kind of doing all my content in one now. I feel like doing live shows plus videos got to be a little much for me, so I'm kind of just rolling it all into one. So I'll be live tomorrow. I'm actually going to go see Roofman tomorrow during the day because I'm off work, which I've heard some good things about it. So I'll be reviewing that on the podcast tomorrow and then talking about other news and stuff. And then got Black Phone 2 coming out this weekend, which I am over the moon with excitement about. So I'll be talking about that next week, probably in very big details. So so that's pretty much all I got coming up.
Incredible. Well, go check out his stuff. Follow him on the YouTubes, on the Twitters, on the I think you're on TikTok too.
TikTok,
right?
Yeah,
you're over there. Go follow him on TikTok. All that jazz. We've done a couple episodes with him on here as well. So if you want to go check out all that, go do that. And Taz, what you're working on? Where can we find you? Yeah,
youtube.com/ToxicTaz. Still working on trying to get those Dexter videos out, but I've been so busy. They're gonna get out hopefully before the end of the year. How about that? I'll give us a little bit more time before the end of the year.
Season 2.
Okay. How about that? Yeah, I guarantee that these last 5 episode videos will be out before season 2 comes out.
It'll be May, and people are like, "What the hell, man? Like, why are you?" Like, what are you
trip down memory lane.
For sure. Go check his stuff out. Great stuff all around. We will be back with After Credits next week with more Gen V episode 7 and another thing that I need to confirm with Taz before I announce it, but potentially season 1 of a show that we hadn't seen before, potentially. So go stay tuned for that. And then Pipeline this Thursday, 7 o'clock. We are going over the It movies for the first time. We got a guest on. We're talking about those movies, the original one from the 90s and the 2 newer ones ahead of It Welcome to Derry in a couple of weeks here. So stay tuned for that. That'll be very fun. And I will check you guys out on the flip side.